No, it should be on.
It's really today, isn't it?
Yeah. Thing is, I think it's like the hottest day, but it's like no sunshine.
Holland's doing something.
Yeah.
Notification came up. Says this video is unavailable.
Yeah.
Let's give it a little minute.
Yeah.
Sent it to me like the other week as well, though. It was running.
Let me try the other channel. Sorry. Yeah, I don't know if it's just the error because it's live on the other channel.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Praise and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, but Shem Kapodash. Want to give double honors unto the elders, the prophets of GMS, and Shalom out there to the whole four that Christian street north of the stereo, man. You know, again, another week in Babylon. We see a lot of things going on in the world today. Things progressing nicely, man. And this whole thing between Israel and Iran is just stoking the flames of war, man.
Yep.
You know, or the resentment towards you, small acts is growing.
Right. Yeah.
And it's not because you're righteous and people hate the righteous because everyone. No, it's because you're doing madness in the earth, man.
Yep.
You're using power and living by violence, just like you blessed with.
If I can add, it's like the world isn't at peace right now, but like the status quo, the rest of the nations like the status quo as it is.
Yep.
What Israel's doing is they're basically prodding to completely change the status quo such that the world is very topsy-turvy, right? Such that people are like, I saw a clip unverified, right? What basically was like pilots flying into like the Dubai region and just seeing missiles flying from the Iranian side and that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the whole world right now is like, bro, like what are these gutter rats actually doing? You know?
Doing exactly what they need to be doing.
Well, and that's it.
Right? And that's why we love to see it, man, because we know how it's going to end for them. We know how it's going to end for America and these, man. So, like, everything they're doing because they're supposed to be doing because it's the Lord's will, right? And the whole world's looking at you in a different light. Because before, everyone's been made to buy the belief that you're the Lord's chosen people. You've been persecuted back in World War II, and you deserve to have the land because it's your land and all that. Everyone's been looking at like, what? None of this is making sense because what are you doing? You're meant to be, supposedly the Lord's chosen people, but look what you're doing in the earth. What are you really fulfilling? What you can't be. There's no way. You man are evil, and people are looking at it like you're evil, man. You know, where's your king? We can go into all those prophecies, man. Like, but where are you fulfilling prophecy? Just because the British, establishment brought you into the land of Israel because of the Rothschilds. Where is that in scripture? So people are looking at you like, man, you're just a bunch of frauds, man. You're just wicked individuals.
Yeah.
So, yep.
Start. This is Psalms 140, right? And from the top it says, "Deliver me, O Yahweh, from the evil man. Preserve me from the violent man."
Esau is that violent man, right? That was the blessing he was blessed with, right? When he couldn't get the forthright blessing, right? He got blessed with a consolation blessing, right? Which was to live by the sword, right? And that is how Esau has conducted business on the earth, through violence, through theft, right? And that's what they continue to do. And you think these are just things that just kind of coincidentally just happened just recently, But these plans have been in place to go into Iran and all these different Syria and all these different places for years prior.
General Wesley Clark.
Yes.
Like that,
Yep. So they had plans and ideas to do all of this, man. But now it just comes to the point where they're doing it. They got the right people in place to do it now. The Lord said, "Look, yeah, you can go in there now," and so they've gone in now. And where is it going to end them? Destruction, man, as per prophecy.
Kind of so simple, but you made the statement violence, innit? Right?
Yep.
They move with violence. But it made me think of this scripture because basically what you have sown is what you shall reap, right? And it says Revelation 18 and 21. It says, and the mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea, saying, thus with violence, right, shall that great city Babylon be thrown down and shall be found no more at all.
Right? Because you small hands, man, are just another class of Edomite.
That's it.
Right? And your main strength of your empire is in America.
Mhm.
That's why you're waiting for the backing of America. We're all waiting on Trump. What's he going to decide to do in the next couple of weeks?
That's why they move so gully,
Mm.
right? You know, because they know they got that America. And let's be real, no one wants it. No one wants to
Fight
fight America, man. Let's just keep it real, right?
As much as we berate them and belittle them,
Mhm.
because ultimately they are going to be made to look inferior, but they still the mightiest. They are the mightiest military in the world.
Hey, there's a joke online every now and then when like a conflict arises where it's basically like, look, man, you better behave yourself, otherwise you're gonna see why Americans don't have free healthcare, right? Because they just spend all the money on the military, right? In fact, if I can therefore finish Psalms 140. Right, so it's Psalms 140 from 1 says, deliver me, O Yahweh, from the evil man, preserve me from the violent man, which imagine mischief in their heart, continually are they gathered together for war.
Right, and that's what man are preparing for right now. Everyone's waiting on the word of Donald Trump, whether or not America going to go to war. The point of the matter is,
war.
yeah, and it don't really matter if it does or doesn't at this point in time, you know, because eventually America's going to be at the forefront. They're going to be at the forefront of the war. You know, they're going to be there, right? Whether it's now or whether it's later down the line, it's going to be there. But what we do know is that obviously other policies have to take place. So this can't just conclude in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
It can't conclude, you know, Trump, yeah, we're going to go in there, we're going to smash Iran. And then Russia's like, no, you ain't going to do that. It ain't going to just happen like that or as quick as that. You know?
And
yeah. You know, because I'm thinking, boy, Trump's when he say, no, it's all right. You know, let Israel deal with it for the time being. I don't, maybe I'm wrong, but
Sulaki's quite, but because I was, what do you call it? It was on NBC yesterday. One of the points that they made was it's like 2 weeks is something Trump keeps saying.
Yeah.
Because it's like he said it about the Ukraine negotiations. In 2 weeks we'll, make a decision. He said it as well about another one that slips my mind, but it was like, yeah, in 2 weeks, we'll make a decision.
And it's just distractions.
It's distraction, yeah. It's biding time.
Yeah, they're waiting to find out what he's gonna do. Because the whole world waits on America, man. They all wait to see what America does. Because they are the big boy in the pond, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they all wait to see what he decides. And why in the meantime, Israel's getting away with doing what they're doing.
Exactly.
But no one's doing anything. You know?
Exactly. But you also got another saying, it's like when America sneezes, the rest of the world catches a cold. Something like that, or the other way, right?
Unless Iran hits Israel like super duper hard, ain't nothing gonna happen.
Ain't nothing
gonna happen, man.
Yeah. And I was doing some research, into that Strait of Hormuz, right? And I was just actually kind of thinking, I was like, look, technically speaking, Iran already has a nuclear weapon. It's the Strait of Hormuz.
They can do damage by cutting that off.
Because this is the thing. It's like when you look into it, it's not only the fact that Iran itself has oil, and the reason why it is a nuclear option is because it's mutually assured destruction in the sense that Iran cuts it off, but they also get cut off because they got a lot of oil, but they can't like refine a lot of it themselves.
Everybody has to suffer.
So basically, it'll be a thing where it's like they're also cutting themselves off economically as well, right? But it's a thing of a lot of let's say a lot of China's like one of the main recipients of that oil. So then if China's not getting that oil, those factories can't run or whatever, what have you, right? But then it's like 20% of liquid natural gas is exported through that strait. And liquid natural gas is different to regular petroleum and stuff like that because you've got strategic reserves of petroleum. So you hear, Biden's, using from the strategic petroleum reserves. You haven't got that for liquid natural gas. So imagine anything, you take out 20% of the supply, the prices do that, right? And then that's an immediate, that's a black swan event, basically. Like the markets crash the next day and stuff like that. So it's like they already had a way to change the world and they haven't used it because at the end of the day, right, that's not what they were on. But now they've been backed into
it's not their first option to put it that way.
Yeah.
You will try to avoid those types of things, just like you try to avoid using nukes.
Exactly.
You avoid trying to do things that can damage yourself, right?
Exactly.
So obviously they're going to play a long game. but they have to play a long game. It has to be last resort. And Israel's not threatening with nukes or destruction. They're man just taking man out and bases and civilians. But they're gonna come a point in time where they're not gonna tolerate that anymore. And we just gonna wait until that point comes, you know?
Yeah. And really them nice to know that if they use too much force, they'll be in one day they're gone.
Yeah.
Because even Russia's sitting there like waiting to see how far this is actually gonna go. But they're not gonna, like I said, they're not stepping in right now. But if they do the regime change or something, we don't want to talk about it. You know what I mean? Don't we want to say anything about it? You know what I mean? Because the cards out on the table type thing, innit?
So did you watch the clip with it wasn't Lavrov, I forget his name, Peskov.
Yeah.
Peskov, yeah, he was just there like, we're not gonna go there. It's unimaginable.
But what if he does happen?
No. He was basically saying, but to be fair,
they don't want to put the cards out on the table.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They man know exactly what they're gonna do if that happens, but they just don't want to talk on it.
because I just did a little bit of research on that position, the Soleimani position, Khamenei position, right? He's basically second to God, according to like how they believe it, right? So he's like the Ayatollah, he's like second to God. So taking him out, bro.
But you know the whole United States thing, or you know the Western thing is like, oh, not everybody believes in them though, and so they'll try and cause that resentment and all that kind of stuff because them are suffering because of the not because of Israel, because of the Iranians they're suffering.
Yeah.
Like who bombed who though?
Walk around and find out.
Exactly. And the thing is as well, it's like it's the type of Muslim that they are. So it's like that will then cause issues in other countries that are also that type of Muslim as well. Right. So that's no small, and once again, the Muslims are already pissed. You speak the scriptures in 2 Ezra 16, right? Speak about the Arabians remembering their nature.
Bro,
right?
Not even just the Arabians are pissed, man. The whole world's pissed at Israel, man. Because you're just doing too much.
You quoted it at the start of the video. It says, "Thou art greatly despised, man." You know what I mean? It's like of all people in the world that people just like, bro, these people are just nonsense. It's them, man.
It's like people. That's like everyone's in agreement.
Everyone can disagree. Fuck these guys.
You know, because everyone knows what you're doing. It's bullying.
Yeah, bullying.
It's bullying, man. Because even Trump was talking about, oh, we've got the air superiority, but we're just bombing the shit out of people, man. You know this because you're the principal of the air. You're moving gangster.
But it's spiritual that there are two countries that have always been spoken about being destroyed. It's Israel and Babylon, which is spiritual. So that's what's going to happen, right? In World War III, but that place is going to be built back up.
Yep.
But it's spiritual. Like, have you never seen the great destruction of Nigeria, or the great destruction of South Africa or Australia? Everyone is in unison. When an all-out conflict in the world happens, Israel and Babylon are going to be gone.
And you mentioned Babylon just there. I was going to say the same thing because you know why there's no great destruction in those other places? Because they're not important. They're not important. Babylon the Great is America. It's an important part of the world. It's the ruling empire in the world, man. When judgment comes, it comes on the ruling empires. You can't say America's not Babylon, but you know America's got a 51st state, which is Israel. You know what I'm saying? The United States in the Middle East. That's what it is. By the least of the flock. You know?
So
No.
this is Revelation chapter 7:1. And after these things, I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor sea, nor like on it, any tree.
Right. So things have to progress, and this is what we're seeing. But the time of them unleashing hasn't arrived yet. Because that destruction, that wind is talking about the nuclear war. Right? When those missiles are finally shot from Russia, from China, from Europe, right? At America, man, to bring about this great destruction that our brothers in America need delivering from. You know what I'm saying? That's what they're holding back. But we have to progress to that point.
Exactly.
You know?
It's like all these prophecies, they work in sync. You know what I'm saying? Like, before you can get the destruction of Babylon the Great, the mark of the beast has to come to pass.
There has to be a logical order to things, you know?
Can you get that one in Ezra? You know, he's hit by measure, have you measured the times? You know what I'm saying? So everything has to come to pass in its law. So like now, the main thing in the spirit, even though you've got the Israel and Iran situation, you're seeing the emergence and real life application of the artificial like intelligence onto the mark of the beast, man. You know what I mean? Like, we spoke about it like in our stream. There was a pedophile, right? That his face was caught on an AI camera, and he ain't supposed he ain't supposed to spend time around any kids and children, and his face flagged up on a database, and the feds was able to go to his spot. Now that proves what we were saying. They've got these databases that exist. Because if they got a database for pedophiles to recognize their face and where a person is, they can have a database for
anyone, yeah.
for someone that's an extremist.
And
You know what I'm saying?
and
right?
this is the thing, like, we talk about Palantir a lot recently.
Yeah.
But it's not the only database.
Yeah.
The only thing with Palantir and things like this is that they're generally bigger databases.
Yeah.
They're collecting information from other databases.
Yeah.
And the more it's centralized, the more access they have, to have people. You know what I'm saying? Because the whole problem is that there's all these different databases that are not they don't operate ubiquitous, I think is the term, right? They don't operate with each other, so it's harder to gather information that way. These bigger ones can collate more, and so you just go to that one guy because, hey, what they say, knowledge is power, right?
Yeah.
Or information is big business.
Yeah.
Those types of things.
Yeah.
The person with the most information who's getting paid. You know what I'm saying? So that's what these companies are doing. Not the only one though.
Yeah, no, because the thing is as well, it's like those types, especially in the military-industrial complex, a lot of those guys will just contract.
Yeah.
So the system may be the British government's, but Palantir may have been the ones that actually built it and designed it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Which helped them bypass certain laws.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
It's a private entity.
No, the actual prime minister and the government be like, we won't do this, but the private entity can. And we just have them under a contract.
Yeah. Can I just touch on that point though? Because even now you're saying it twice again. That means that AI did something like very interesting there, because not only did it do the facial recognition, it then said what activity can't this person be doing, and what activity is this person doing right now. So then basically he did that way. Okay, so he can't be around children. Oh, is he around the child? Oh, he's around the child. Bam. Send it out, and then also now then it would have kept track of him where he was, because let's say it was a situation where he was in the park and he walked somewhere. That means it was tracking him where he was through the different cameras and stuff like that until the police arrived.
And they've been saying recently about this, the progress of AI. They're gonna be able to action things now. You know what I'm saying? Because before, they were just helping people do their jobs, but now they're gonna be able to action things. And that's what you're hearing basically. They're acting something and sent it.
Well, the other day there was that doctor that's worked for he was basically saying that AI is going to take over a job because he was scanning a person's lungs, innit, and saw, his lungs condition, and he said, I mean, I had to work 20 years to be able to understand this. Fucking AI scanned this and it gave him the answer in 10 seconds. So it shows you.
Based on hard man's work.
I have a bit more on this.
Yeah.
And it says, and I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the Most High. And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our power in their foreheads.
There's nothing we're waiting on. The fulfillment of the season of the servants.
But it's basically there. Because it's like prophecy is moving in sync with the brothers being sealed. So that's why it's like it's getting like more things are happening now because more of the elect are sealed, and it's like they're more left sealed. Because
we're not waiting for newborns to be born and all this stuff. The elect men are here on the earth. You know what I'm saying?
The mark of the beast isn't 20 years away. You know what I mean?
Bro, the technology's here already.
Yeah, exactly. It's already here.
It's been here.
But it's basically here. Like, remember back in the day,
implementation.
Yeah. Remember back in the day, you used to have them clips, the Baja Beach Club, all of that kind of stuff. But remember, for us in our lives, there was a time where, like if you were taking a bus or a cab, you're still paying cash. But then, like our lives became contactless.
Yeah.
So it's not that far away.
Well, this
It's,
right.
it's at the door. Could be
There's,
next year.
there's people been in the world touching and going with the hand for like 5-10 years.
Yeah.
We've,
Probably a decade.
we've not had it.
Yeah.
But there's been man what they've been doing it for that
Yeah,
long.
yeah.
So that's just the sales pitch because it's been made to look cool and groovy and you know, so useful, right? So when it comes to that point, it's like, yeah, it's been out of the world already. People are kind of used to the idea it exists.
Yeah.
And so when it comes to, push comes to shove, they're like, oh, that's all right. We need to do it. So we're going to do it.
And spiritually, these people don't realize they're actually giving up their minds for artificial intelligence. Like there's so many basic things people do in the daily life where they're like, you know what, man, this chat GBT and all these systems, it ain't bad. It just gives me an answer straight away. It gives me this. So now if you're telling me if I can take a chip, that's merge with that whole system and living. Why fucking not? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You know?
And the thing is, as well, it's making life more soulless too, right? I didn't share it in the end, right? But basically, you have basically same thing that happened with the calculator, right? So back in the day, people were able to do the mental maths and stuff like that, right? But then ask someone to do a little bit of hard mental multiplications. Like, oh shit, how do I do that? The AI is gonna do the same thing.
Man, I can't lie, man. Man, I'm ChatGPT's best friend.
Yeah.
Shit, man. I made him, plan best schedules of my life.
Yeah.
Like,
You know
It's
what?
how you use these tools, though,
Yeah.
right?
You know what? GPT seems like a long lost friend, right?
yeah.
Right?
For real.
He's fair. You know what I'm saying? Fair. Like even when you correct him, he's humble.
Yeah.
He's humble, like, he's humble.
That's about last night.
Esau's not humble, but
Yeah.
he said like he like your friend. He agree with you and shit. Like he was trying to catch you and say he agree.
You know, it's funny. Last night, like I asked Chat GPT about the term name stealing. Yeah. Oh yeah, from back in there, like on the microchip. Yeah. So last night, because I asked Chat GPT about the term name stealers, how the Hazards had that name on them. So I asked him, so can you give me more information on that? Then his tone was like conspiracy theorists and all of that.
Yeah.
So I said to him, I said, listen, bro, don't give me stop. I said you're being biased now to the conspiracy theorist narrative. Take out that tone, and you know what he said? He said, you know what? Sorry about that. I didn't get it. It's true. Conspiracy tone, and then he gave me the facts. Without any emotion.
The thing is, right? One thing about these ChatGPT, these AIs, right? As much as it seems like it's helpful, right?
Yeah.
It's very deceptive.
Yeah.
Extremely, very deceptive, right? Because it will cater itself to you.
Yeah, it will.
It will cater itself
It
to you.
will.
Because even the way it speaks back when I watch my brother's video, it sounds like he's like a brother.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
bro.
It's like and the computer wouldn't do that
Yeah.
normally. You
Even
know what I'm saying?
at times to drop slang.
There you go. Right. So it makes you think that it's actually like, but it can be the same way following you
Yeah.
into
Or a viewpoint.
yeah.
I saw that I was trying to verify something. I was like, it was on Grok, and basically I'd asked it about Iran systems or whatever, right? About one of the attacks that happened, and then its viewpoint was, well, this may not be true because it's not been verified by Western sources. So what is that telling you once again? It's like this is artificial Idumia. They're the ones that say what's true.
And I said these AIs are agents. They data gathering on you, and that's why the AI is learning from us, man.
Yeah,
It's learning breakdowns.
Yeah.
It's learning breakdowns. It's learning all different things from us and categorizing us.
Yeah. Each time you say, was this thing helpful? You say, yeah, it was helpful. Yeah. Thanks. It's like, okay, that was the correct answer then.
Yeah, we update us.
I'll be honest, I got it.
No, that's what I'm saying. Don't get me wrong. It's useful. It's a tool that we can use. We can find out things that we couldn't necessarily find out before. Like
with speed.
Because sometimes I don't want to go all the way back to when the elders were going in libraries and searching out books. That's even longer, but I'm not going to say it's long like that. But even when you go through Google and search, you have to find you have to find that one source, that one page with the information on it, and it's hard, But these AIs can find it. Yeah. They know where these sources are, and it'll find it for you. So it's useful, but at the same time,
and understanding that it goes off.
But understand this. It's a tool of Esau. It's a tool of Esau, and it is gathering data. That's what his job is. gather data.
Yeah, I mean, remember that, like, when
Yeah, he's a light.
Yeah,
They just, you know what I'm saying.
I mean, remember the word demon goes back to I mean, intelligence.
What I was saying the other day, these are Satan's angels, man. So they're just, you know.
It is angel because he's trying to do. Remember, Esau is trying to artificially engineer everything the Most High has. So
And the Most High is a source of wisdom and knowledge.
The Lord,
And so he's using all this technology to gather knowledge in one place. So he can just source it out. He's able to dish it out in seconds. Like the Most High could just dish it out in seconds. You know, but like it's inferior. You know.
Quick, if I may. So Revelation 16:14, for there are the spirits of devils working miracles, which go forth unto the kings of the earth and of the whole world to gather them to the great battle to gather them to the battle of that great day of the Most High Almighty. Right. So that's that working miracles, man. That's part. His technology is very much a big part of his miracles, man. Right. And that's why you're getting people right now that, as the brother mentioned earlier on, that are basically giving their lives to these AIs. Right, they just think that they take the AI, and that's one of the things. Got to be very careful, man. As we see when we're using it to build lessons and stuff, where it will just like blatantly go off. Earlier on, I was asking it just something basic, on our transit network, the Elizabeth line, it uses A's and B's, right? And then I was like, why is that? And it was like because the National Rail uses letters, and I was just there like, no, like something else so blatantly wrong. But if you're not a subject matter expert, you can be very easily led to make the wrong conclusion.
Especially the scriptures.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially the scriptures. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you notice nowadays when brothers do certain videos or you go back and forth with certain people, some people's responses are on a comment board. If you read the pattern, you know they got that from ChatGPT.
Yeah.
And then because ChatGPT said it,
Ministry of Truth. It's the Ministry of Truth. You watch 1984, right? You speak, and because there's gonna come a point where right now it has that little bit at the bottom that says AI it's experimental, can go off. Basically, it's gonna come to a point where people are gonna be like, "This is the truth."
You have to remember, man. AI takes from sources.
Exactly.
What are those sources? That's what we need to. That's what you need in this question, right?
And learning from people.
And it could produce something of high probability out of these sources, right? But it's a carnal machine. He doesn't know spiritual matters. He can't fathom something like that. You can only take what other people think about it. You can only express what people think and use it. Well, some people say this, but he can't know. There's no way he could know on spiritual matters. There's no way.
Because even of man can grab that. Okay. So 1 Corinthians 2:14, right? It says, but the natural man, so this AI ain't even a man, right? But the natural man receiveth, exactly. It's in the name, isn't it? But the natural man receiveth not the things of the Spirit of the Most High, but they are foolishness unto him. Neither can he know them because they are spiritually discerned.
Yeah. So where can it source that information from? It can't. The only place it could source it from is us, right? And that's what it is doing, right? Because that's why if you break down things, it's like, oh, it finds certain things that they would never find that out there in it would never find it out there unless we said it. Unless we said it, it would never know that.
What's that said? So Isaiah 55 or something, verse 8 to 9. It says, for my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither your ways my ways, saith the Lord.
And it's not what we know is not even something we studied. Like it's not like we can find the book. You know what I'm saying? Like spirit. You ask ChatGPT where the 12 tribes of Israel, but I'd love to see what they'd say. I might do that when I get home.
Even
I'd like to see where you're gonna come out with.
Even on the scattering.
Yeah, but remember that's right. It will take sources from other people that exist already, and like it won't be ours. But if it does come up with ours, it's because we said it.
Yeah,
it's not because someone else said it.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying?
And it's been transcribed. Because that's it. Like now, that was everything you see
or something like that. But that'll tell you that although in America are all Israelites, man.
Yeah.
Did Columbus know? Of course he did. He interpreted with it. Of course he knew. Can ChatGPT connect the dots? Because those things we have to connect in the spirit. Ultimately, yeah, we were taught it, but we have to. That understanding came from on the eye.
That's right.
Because you can't necessarily verify those things, like by record. Even though there is evidence, there is evidence, but like we have to take that on faith a lot of this stuff, right?
verse 9. For as the heavens are higher than the for as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts.
That's right.
That's it, yeah.
The Lord's wisdom doesn't dwell on the earth like that. That's why it says that many prophets have desired to see the things that you see, and many kings, you know, all these people have desired to understand these things, but it's not been possible because the Lord is not dealing with them. The Lord is only dealing with his elect.
That's right.
Right? So this knowledge is very in-house and contained in a very small group. And the only reason why you'd even know it is because you heard us say it. Right? And most of the time you don't believe us anyway. So it's not like you have this knowledge, you don't. Right? Turn up.
The book of Daniel 12:4 say, but thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end.
So for a long time, this book's been shut off. And it hadn't returned in the earth until the reawakening of the Israelites, man, in the valley of death, you know, in the valley of dry bones in America, right? Where this truth started to come back out through Albert Bivens, right? That's when this knowledge was came back in the spirit. Before it was shut off. All these understandings have now come on since then, you know?
And also, and you also the knowledge come from him. Time when Yahweh died, when he went to heaven and he was able to open what? The seals of the, that's where we can understand more.
Mhm.
Yeah.
As goes on to say, many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased.
Right? And we're seeing that, you know, we're bringing it out like travel, you know, short, like long distances are becoming short.
Yeah.
You know, people can go from this place to that place, and knowledge is vastly expounded. You know, but you have to, but not all knowledge is knowledge. If you understand what I'm saying.
It's good to say that. Is not all wisdom is.
So the wisdom of wickedness is not wisdom, or something like that.
Yeah, God, yeah.
Right? Because there's a whole lot of that in the world.
Yeah.
A whole lot of wicked wisdom in the world, and it's not true or it's not profitable to people. Right? So we have to be able to filter all these different things and stick to the truth. Because I say using all these technologies and that, yeah, they're useful, but there's a whole lot of bones in what they give you, and you have to really be able to use the spiritual discernment to understand what's really going on. You know.
Exactly. And once again, it's that thing about being a subject matter expert. That's why we can call it out immediately when it's breaking down scriptures wrong. But it's just that, being careful as well, like when, looking into other stuff, right? Because it doesn't know the truth, right? And if you're not particularly aware of that particular, subject matter, you can be swayed in the wrong direction.
It's like the ChatGPT or these AIs is like the digital version of vocab.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's trying to learn about you. He's trying to gather information so he can know what you're on, what you believe, and how to attack it. Right? And like I said, these AIs just collating data. They're not your friend.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? As much as it feels like, it's vibing with
I'm
you.
not vibing. Let's you aim to overtake me.
yeah. It's not really your friend. It's not really for you. You know what I mean? But it has its uses,
Sorry.
This is 2 Corinthians 2:11. It says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, but we are not ignorant of his devices.
Right? And I say, it's one of his devices. Even though we know all these things come to a double-edged sword to him, just like the internet, right? Yeah, he made it, manifest it into the world, whatever. But we've been able to capitalize on that more so than he's able to, really, ultimately, in the end, right? The same with the whole AI. Yeah, we can use it, but really, he designed it for himself to do all this stuff he's doing with it. So we just have to, be mindful of that, and just use discernment when we're using these things.
Look up the word for device.
Yep.
In the Greek, it's noema, and it says the outline of biblical usage: a mental perception, thought, an evil purpose.
Right, and we know anything useful designs is not for the good of the world.
That's it.
Right, but we got a backdoor hack. It's benefiting us to a certain level.
That's it. I did Isaiah 55. Whoever his mouth, sleep and butter,
or Psalms.
Yes, Psalm. What that's it? Is it
Back to Isaiah.
That's all. Getting old. Yeah.
Psalms 55:21. It says the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart.
Right, he always finds a way to weaponize these things, isn't it? Always, or his data, or his food, water, anything. He's weaponized everything because he's a violent man. We were speaking earlier. He's a violent man, and this is why the world despises him, because you are weaponizing every damn little thing that comes into this world that that you're behind. None of it is actually helping. So maybe he's superficially helping, You know, oh yeah, you know, I don't have to think no more, so I've got a phone that does everything for me. That's not good, but it seems good because it just makes life easy, obviously, innit? But it's not good for you. The fact that we run around with a device in our hands all fucking day, being, you know, radiating or whatever, it's just not good for you. And I'm not saying man dropping dead because they've got phones in their hand, but I'm just saying like your help is less than it should be. You know what I'm saying? But not just because it's because a whole bunch of things that he's doing. You know? So just know that everything he does for his own purpose only. But you know, like I said, the Lord has given us the ability to use it in a separate manner to fight against him with. It's the same thing like with the missiles. The Lord is using the missiles against him, right? Even though he created them, and not for no good. But we have the ability to fight back with the same things he created. He laid his own snare for himself. You know?
It says his words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords.
Right? So there's no good intention from Esau. Never. All right, never trust that enemy. There's never any good intention from him. Okay, but we know we're able to use these things to fight back against it. You know? I don't know, yeah.
That's it.
So you hold it. You hold it. No.
Oh no, I was just
What's it called?
If you got something, yeah, if you got something, go.
Hebrews 12 and 16. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. For you know how that afterward, when he would have inherited the blessing, he was rejected. For he found no place of repentance, though he saw it carefully with tears.
Right? So Esau is a condemned man, so he's just going all out in the wickedness. You know, there's nothing that Esau can do, and this is why you see the boldness of his actions right now. You're seeing how he's speaking like a dragon right now, you know, and that's gonna you know escalate and increase, man, because you know right now Israel's getting away with doing whatever they want to do, and they're speaking hard against everybody that they're talking against. They're speaking hard against them, man. Man don't care about blowing up children and all that because in the scriptures he doesn't care. All right, so you're seeing the aggression of Esau coming out more and more. Right, and again, this is going to end up in a World War III, which is another trait of Esau. He just does war, right? He was behind the first 2 world wars, right? Him and his cousins and shit. Well, obviously as an orchestrator, but again, they propagate war, you know, because he's the red horse to take peace from the earth, right? Here it is, Israel meant to be dwelling in peace, but they're creating wars. They're not even they can't live in peace, and they don't give peace to others. You know what I'm saying? So
they're running away from their promised land.
yeah, it was fleeing like rats.
Yeah.
You know, but if you believe in your God, why are you running?
Yes.
When did you hear in the scriptures that when man come up to war against Israel, man just left the country? What the fuck? Like, come on, man. No, you got the most high behind you, right?
That's right, yeah.
Why are you running?
That's it.
Why are you running?
That's it.
You know, but we know that's not the people.
Because when this time of salvation was to come, the Lord would have our back.
You don't even believe in it. They don't even believe in their own carnal man.
Yeah.
They ain't no spiritual man. They don't even believe in their carnal man. It's mad.
They believe in that they're basically going to Egypt for help. Right?
Yeah, man. A lot of things they said they were going back home because Israel's not their home. Because they came from all these different places in Europe and all that. That's where they came from. They didn't come from Israel, right? So when they go just going back, because Israel kind of have to beg people to come to Israel. That's how it's been, right? Because who wants to be somewhere they're not wanted? Because you took that land and you've upset all these nations around you. Why do anyone want to risk their life being in Israel? You know, so you beg man to come. And bros are bringing that in the chat, man. You know, if too many people leave Israel, that's a crisis.
Yeah.
Because you can't function.
Yeah, it's a collapse. Yeah.
You know, because most of you would rather be in America anyway.
Well, they're just supposed to be in peace. In the land.
Yeah. So why are you fleeing?
This is 48. This is there, man.
And this is what people are seeing. People are noticing that. Plus, you've got the prophets out here speaking these things. People are seeing this now. You aren't the chosen people.
That's right.
Right? And that's becoming clearer and clearer by the day, and everyone else is seeing it.
Yeah.
Right? They might not want to accept that we are the chosen people. They might not want to accept, they might want to say, oh, it's the Christian church and all this shit, right? But they know for sure that you man can't be the chosen people. Because you ain't righteous. You run everything, right? You're cowards.
Yeah.
Right? You don't even worship the Most High.
It's known by what?
Pink cities, pink parades.
Grab this.
So they know they're clocking on, man. Go on.
This is Jeremiah 30:10. Therefore fear thou not, O my servant Jacob, saith Yahweh. Neither be dismayed, O Israel, for lo, I will save thee from afar, and thy seed from the land of their captivity. And Jacob shall return and shall be in rest and be quiet, and none shall make him afraid.
Bro, but didn't you fulfill that already? Didn't you go back to the land? Or something else happening here that we're not being told about? Because surely when you got the very first night, Egypt was at war with you, man. And I want to ask ChatGPT more about that actually, because I haven't used this. I'm getting intrigued at all these questions I could ask, right? And see what it's going to come back up with, right? But why did Egypt go to war with Israel if they were fulfilling prophecy? Surely these nations should have been subdued, right?
So,
Surely the Lord was going to bring them there, subdue the nations before them, and because that's what the Lord said He's going to do. He's going to give you the rod of iron, right? You're going to have your foot upon the necks of your enemies, right? But where was all of that? You went to war, and yeah, you won that war, whatever, and now you're in the land, but you're not at peace.
sir.
Never have been.
And even when you see, so I just finished up working with Amalek, and there will be like certain things like after work, things that we'd be doing and that, and you could see whenever the topic of their heritage come up, they became like you'll be you out about the kind of they start
Sketchy,
doing
bro.
sketchy. That's
Yeah,
what
it's
like,
sketchy.
like
So they know their frauds, man.
Guilty.
yeah.
Like they question their own identity, man, because they like a lot of them brought up to believe that they're Judah or whatever, whatever they're being told, right? But they have doubt.
That's it.
They have doubt because like, why are things not happening the way they should be then?
Yeah, and then also it's just that thing of they know that they're hated in the earth.
Yeah.
Right. So you're saying they're like, oh, I don't want to say it too loud in case people. Basically, it was a fugitive and a vagabond, man. That's the spirit that they will come in it. It's like, oh shit, no one can find out it's me. Right. That's why certain of them won't wear the thing. But then certain of them will observe, certain of them will wear it, but maybe they'll wear like a cap on top. To kind of hide it. So it's like I'm still wearing it, but like you can't see that I'm wearing it.
It's not even a bloody there's no precept that said you go wear it in the first place. I don't understand you. You men are mental.
They will change their names.
Yeah.
Last name.
Horowitz to David or something.
It's funny because they'll change their names, but they'll still be identifiably there.
You are something special on the earth, man. I'll tell you this. Not in the right way though. Yeah, you can spot you from a mile off, man. It don't matter how many times you change your names. The only ones that kind of blend in are those, like the CEOs and stuff like that, because they don't look, they don't have the same get up.
Yeah.
They look European. You know what I'm saying? They look European, man, because they're trying to blend in, right? But you, man, are just your spirit's all off, man, all the way off. They're easy to spot, But continue. Yeah, I was gonna bring out another point.
I've got another precept.
Okay.
This is Isaiah 2, something verse 2. And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. And many people shall go and say, Come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord Yahweh, to the house of the God of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem.
So this is what I was going to say a minute ago, right? Because obviously the children of Israel are meant to be hating the earth, right? But not because of what you're doing, right? Because you've actually got your land back, right? All this peace was supposed to happen when you got the land back, and everybody's supposed to bow down to you, right? And like it says here, come down to bow and learn from you. That's not going on.
Right now they quote unquote bow, but that's because by way of oppression, where you make them, you're like, look, our way or else. Whereas this way, this is like people are gonna be like, yo, man, we need to go. Like, for instance, imagine you're like, because you want to be a guitar player or something like that, right? And then like Jimi Hendrix is next door. Like you're gonna be, yo, Mr. Hendrix, man, yo, you're gonna teach me some stuff.
Yeah, because you don't know fuck all, man.
And that's what
No
these
talent.
that's what these heathens are gonna be doing. They're going, yo, have you seen the Israel? Yo, look how they patterned up. Yo, let the people are gonna be willing.
Because we're actually a special people. We have latent abilities that like so mad. It's crazy, right? You guys don't have nothing going on for you. Other than the fact you control the world and its resources and stuff, man. Right? You are hated because you bring oppression. You bring oppression in the earth, man. We're hated because we're just niggas, man. We people act like fucking niggas. We're degenerate. We're embarrassing, and we're vying against each other. So we look bad, right? But that's because we're not in our right minds yet. When the Lord comes to restore his people, man, yeah, we're gonna be clean, man. And we're gonna receive that peace. Because all you do right now, since you've been in life, is complain. Complain and cry about everyone wants to get us, everyone wants to get us, man. Oh, you know, the H bomb, the H word, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they hate us.
The A word.
Yeah, you know, and all you do is complain. Why? Why are you complaining? You're meant to be fucking rulers of the earth. I mean, you are rulers. This is the way you're ruling. You're still fucking complaining. You know what I'm saying? Because you haven't fulfilled no prophecy. He stole the land. Okay, by the signature of Lord Rothschild, you took the land. You know, there was no biblical prophecy that was fulfilled when you took that land, man.
Oh, because Scripture says, what do you call it? Whatever the Lord do you have Hashem now? Shall we get? We're gonna take the land, but we're gonna do it in such a way where you go no,
Bro, the whole world's gonna know.
go no.
No America ain't gonna say shit.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? They ain't gonna have no input because we ain't hearing them. Because they ain't nobody.
Yeah. The Lord ain't gonna be waiting out. Well, we're just gonna see what Donald Trump has
Yeah,
to say.
I need their support. So I need their support. So I need to be on good terms with them.
Yeah.
We're gonna have no input from nobody. Yeah. We're gonna go in there and the whole world. We're gonna take the whole world. Not just Israel, we're gonna take the whole world. Ultimately, Yahushua is coming to take the whole world. Right? And you ain't doing that. You know, like I said, you ain't got a king, you ain't got nothing going on for you. None of you're orthodox, most of you are secular.
Mm.
You don't even believe, most of you don't want to live in Israel. What kind of spirit is this? What kind of spirit is this, man? I'm gonna grab the umbrella. I was gonna wait to see how
Yeah, I looked how they said there's going to be a farm store. Yeah. What time is it? So, 3:30.
Yeah, just give us a bit of buffer and that.
we're gonna move location just because of the rain. We're gonna set ourselves by the tree.
Yeah, double up to yeah. Double win. Lucky I could just bear with us real quick.
Yeah, good.
Like I always check before I leave my house, and I was like, yeah, it's gonna be calm. But Satan had other ideas.
Yeah, man, the whole world's, they're seeing what these devils are doing, man, and they're not with it.
That's it.
And that's what I mean. This is the reason why you're being hated, is because of your actions. Everybody else. The same way the whole image of these things are being brought back up, all the wickedness that you've done on earth, all the unjust things you've done, and these nations are unhappy because they're being oppressed by you, being oppressed by the small hats.
Yeah. In fact, I had this one from before. I'll just read it real quick. Right. This is Jeremiah 50 and 23. It says, how is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How is Babylon become a desolation among the nations?
Right, because the hammer's a heavy tool, man. You smash things down with it, man.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and this is how America is being used, how Israel's being used in the Middle East to smash down nations, to make sure that they're controlled and they're oppressed. Like, how does a man have a right to say you can't have a nuclear program just because they said so?
Yeah, and that's the only nation that's ever dropped one.
Yeah, what the hypocrisy is crazy, right? How can a man say that? But because you got the might, you can make people bow down to your will, right? And that's why you're the oppressing nation. Babylon the Great is the oppressing nation, and Israel is that vassal in the Middle East that controls that region.
Yeah,
because as well, you how the fuck did they get nuked? I mean, well, on record they haven't got any. I think they say in it, but how did they get all their technology? It was from America.
Yeah. When you look at because that's where it was basically reading was from the AP, and it was basically how does Iranian military fare compared to the Israeli military? And one of the things they'll say, oh yeah, the Iranian, their stuff is all like old Russian stuff, but the Israeli one's really good because it's basically like old new American stuff. That's
that special relationship, man. That's where all that money's
that's a
going.
real special. It's Dharma thinks he's got a special.
No, not like Israel, man. Not like Israel.
Hey, not gonna say. Trump said F you to NATO base. He's like, yo, man, you better spend.
Where's the tariffs in Israel?
Yeah, exactly.
There's no tariff in Israel.
They were like, how much do you need? I got you, baby. So I can see them toxic relationships. Like, baby, I'll give you whatever you want.
Is it when it comes to Israel, there'll be all these excuses.
It's that TI stuff. You can have whatever you like.
It's the Americans like the sugar daddy of
That's it. But this is why Obadiah tells you, man, that these nations that were your allies, right? They're gonna got that. Yeah, bring that out. Bring that. But they look, this unfair treatment, man. How can you be friends, quote unquote friends, allies, buddies, right? And you're just slapping the shit out of them, man, making their economies worse and all kinds of things. You're just fucking them up, right? But you're meant to be helping them. And the thing is, Europe is in debt to America. Because from since World War II, Europe had to build itself back up, and they couldn't do it themselves. America played a big role in doing that, and so they got the say.
Yeah, and they did a lot of financing. Like when they helped Great Britain, like America actually, it was the same thing like they're doing with Ukraine now, where it's like it was a loan, but it was rather they were giving assistance, but it was really a loan, right? And I'll look it up real quick, but it's like it actually took quite a while from England to finish paying America back.
This is it, right? And Britain's not Great Britain, right? You know, it's not the old ancient empire which was strong. Britain's weak. We just put the bravado on, just like, you know, we're less capable than America, right? Well, you know, good in Europe, but less capable. But it's like we put that Britain wouldn't be shit about America. Let's be real about it, right? That's why they ain't shit about America. Ultimately, that's why the American can set the terms of shit. That's why when he threatened with tariffs, what do you have to do? Keir Starmer picking up papers on the floor for him in front of him and shit. He looks weak as hell.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It looks weak. Could you rely on America? There's no way about it, man. But that relationship is pissing you off, pissing Europe off, and so they're gonna do what it says in the scriptures here.
Touch on the real bit of information of the AI overview, right? But then also corroborated by Wikipedia. It says the UK took 61 years to repay its World War debt to the United States, right? With the final payment made in December 2006.
And the funny economy is still shit. We're not in a great position. You know, yeah, the debt might be paid, but like we're still begging, man. We're still begging for help. Begging we have to keep the special relationship because we don't. But fuck, yeah, of course you are. Of course we are. You know, America sits in that top seat in the world, man, and everybody knows it, and everybody has to grovel. That's why Trump can do what he does right now, and he's the perfect character to do it. He's stout. He's looking more stout than his fellows. He knows exactly the position that Europe is in. He ain't mincing words. He ain't trying to make you look. He's not even trying to make it look good. You know, it's like the same thing he did to the South African president when he came down. He just put a whole fucking slideshow or whatever with all the massacres and shit. I'm like, how are you gonna embarrass a man like that, bro? Yeah. Man's like, he's very uncomfortable. He's like, yeah, but you know, we have to address this and all this shit. Like, Trump don't give a fuck. He'll every underhanded tactic he'll use. Yeah, he will use it. But go on, bro. We get around this quick.
So, Obadiah, I'm starting from 6, 7. How are the things of Esau? How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought out? All the men of thy confederates have brought thee even to the border.
So all the men that you're allied with, all these nations that you're allied with, you're supposed to be like real tight, right? But you're acting like you're not tight. You know, like you're undermining all your friends. Right? What do you think is gonna happen? Yeah.
The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee.
Right? They're gonna turn on you, man. They're gonna stab you that Brutus style. They're gonna stab man in the back. You know, which is funny because that's how Rome was and how Esau's kingdom kind of operated. You know, man would be stabbing each other in the back to get the primacy or whatever you call it, right? So these nations that you're friendly with and that you're supporting, right? They're tired of you. They're sick and tired of you, man. Right? And they right now they have to bow right now. Keir Starmer was literally bowing, right, in front of the world in the G7. Yeah, I'm like, wow.
You might as well.
I was speaking on this the other day, right? I said I can't imagine. Yeah, Putin was there. If that happened, like, you know, Putin and him did a deal, and he, you know, Trump got the papers. Putin wouldn't be going nowhere. Putin would have got someone else to go with it. If anything, there's no way.
Putin would have known what time it was.
Yeah,
we need to, because you know what
can't let the man do that.
It's all about body language and everything. So that's why you'll observe certain photo ops when they're doing the videos. Like the door is a perfect example of it. Where, like, I'll just give an example where it'll be like, no, you just stand firm, but basically it's like they'll be like, oh no, you go, yeah. Because like there is a power play, like to what it means. It means something to the people watching. So oh no, I pushed you and I let you into the door.
Well, you remember when Trump was in the, I think it was G7. It was just
Remember when was it Macron was doing a very low handshake?
Yeah.
Because you have to project power, man. You can't have your nation look weak on publicly. Don't do that. And Keir Starmer that they're bending over by his crutch and shit.
So, I was gonna say the best example though is when Rothschild was to Prince
Oh,
Charles.
poke
It's like,
his chest.
Charles, like, listen, don't fuck around.
Don't fuck this up. Yeah. It's like shit, man.
Yeah.
You have to project power. You can't be seen as weak, right? Because no one respects that, right? That's it. You can't look like a dickhead, bro.
Even the other day, the French president, remember his wife
Oh yeah, you got stacked up.
was getting slapped.
You got slapped him
That's
up.
a dude, bro.
Yeah, proper
It
Reddit.
must be, bro.
Bro,
Did you see that? The
Ah,
so-called French president's wife, like on a plane, just slapping him in
yeah,
the face.
but once again, so this is it. It's like not
So
to.
imagine if he's already ran, he slapped her, man. He'd be all kind of mad. He'd be in prison.
Oh, he's resigned. He's new president of the new president of France. But I was gonna say Esau knows what he's doing when he's letting those kinds of imagery, that kind of, because once again we all know that they do worse behind closed doors, right? So it's like, why do they choose those images? Say there was a similar clip with when Obama was president, where basically had Michelle like buoying them up. It was just a picture, but it was like basically Michelle kind of buoying them up. Now Esau understands which what was spoken about in the book of Esther, man. You know, the first chapter of Ahasuerus and his wife Vashti, right? That was so Esau knows by putting that imagery out there, you're gassing people up.
Yeah.
Right? You're gassing these women up, man.
These are not accidental things.
Exactly.
Or even the other day, Trump speaking to the president of Ukraine. You know that whole they're having a back and forth.
Yeah.
That was so stable.
You don't do that.
They don't do that.
You don't do that, man. Yeah. You read on that.
All the men of thy confederates have blocked thee even to the border.
They say they're gonna go to war with you. They're gonna, you're gonna go do this campaign together, right? Because you have to defend Israel, right? We're gonna go. You're gonna go. Yeah, you're gonna go. Yeah. Come on.
The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee, and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid wound under thee.
Because America sustains these other nations, man. They eat the bread of America, right? That's how they're surviving Oatmeal right now, right? So they got a different agenda right now because because look, Europe is kind of small when you think about it in a way, right? And these the leaders talk, they talk, man, and they will point talking shit, right? So when that time comes, man, when the opportunity arises, when the spirit of the Lord comes upon these nations to do what they're gonna do to stop them, they're gonna do it. But they're gonna seem like we're together in this to begin with, but it ain't gonna end that way.
You know what it is? It's a marriage of convenience. Where it's just like they don't really like him because like for instance, right now, I'm pretty sure like certain of them nations that have to make a statement backing Israel. Oh, these guys just want my money, man. Just chill. But in public, they're like, okay, whatever, you know. But they're gonna, because once again, there's certain nations. In fact, all of these nations.
We'll check how the narratives kind of turned in Europe a bit, right? Because before these politicians were like, well, they didn't want to touch on the Israel situation, right? And then they would say, oh yeah, this is going too far type thing, you know. But now Israel even gone in even further by attacking Iran. It's like, no, we have to protect, they have the right to defend themselves. What do you mean? They weren't doing anything. Iran weren't doing shit. They weren't doing nothing they weren't already doing before. You know what I'm saying?
And a lot of people once again online are now starting to be like, nah, you lot keep saying that you've been saying for 30 years that they've been close to getting this weapon.
Yeah.
Right. So
2
it's
weeks.
like 2 weeks, 2 weeks or
3 months or whatever.
I saw a meme
For like 10 years.
I saw a meme, you know them ones, and it starts off you thinking it's like hella serious, right? And it was like a clay tablet, with the Paleo Hebrew and that. So I'm thinking, it's gonna be some good information. It's like, new tablet found. And it says from 2,000 years ago, and it says Iran is 2 weeks away from basically make a mockery of the fact that these guys are just lying.
Just making shit up. And it's like every war they go into. And someone was going through all the Iraq and the Afghanistan things.
I've got something on that.
If you're using the same playbook over and over again, man, and everyone's just kind of tired of it now. They're kind of like, oh, it seemed legit at the beginning because people were dying, but now you're just taking the piss. Now you're going well over the top of everything and making all these excuses. You can go to the next place. But this was all set out. We spoke about Wesley Clark and the order of things that they were going to do, go into this country, that country, and end up in Iran.
Yes.
Now we're here.
Yeah, so I think the list is 7 countries, and the last one is Iran.
It's funny that, isn't it? Conspiracy though. Conspiracy though, isn't it? I don't know. Oh, maybe I'm crazy.
Or article.
Go on, you saw that. Yeah, you saw that.
This is from Mora.ta.
This is from Mora.ca US bombings.
Yeah, I spell Mora.
MAURER.
Yeah.
.ca, yeah. I'm gonna put it in the chat as well. It says the all-American bombardment. Here's a list of countries bombed and or invaded by the United States from the end of the Second War to 2020. Afghanistan.
So like if I can say they're gonna compile this list, but I wonder whether they're also gonna mention the ones that they attacked by proxy.
Yeah,
You know?
that's
They can't do
yeah.
that though. They can't do that. You know what I find funny, right? This is since the Second World War, right? This is the Second World War, is it?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
What the fuck did like that was Second World War was devastating. No one should be wanting war after this, bro. You know what I'm saying? But then how did we get from there to Afghanistan, who never played no part in the Second World War? How did America end up there?
Why? Because
What excuse did they come up with? What means to go to Afghanistan? Why?
because by that sword that I live.
Yeah. He has to be on it.
All these countries to take their resources, man.
That's it.
Yeah.
You take peace on the earth. He has to war.
And that's true. I mean, Esau is the last king of this earth, you know, before the Lord comes. You know?
Right. The thing that's also interesting about Afghanistan is Russia tried to invade Afghanistan, and who came to their help? America, right? And then after that, it's like, wait, they used just helping me a couple of days ago. It's like, why are you attacking me?
They just put World War II together.
Yeah.
On the same side. Why is it
Exactly.
why is things gone the way they went into a Cold War? Like how? You've always been on the forefront of war.
That's it.
Ever since you're involved, you've been on the forefront of it, man. Because since you made the power of the earth, you've been on that. That's why you've had the military industrial complex. You turn at war. That is one of your main sources of profit. That's why it doesn't stop. That's why you always find a new place to go do something in. You know, Vietnam, like, you know what I mean? Like, what's up beside the fucking world?
Yeah.
What threat did these men really pose? You've never defended your home territory ever. Why are you everywhere?
Psalms 141. It says, "Deliver me, O Lord, from the evil man. Preserve me from the violent man, which imagine mischiefs in their heart. Continually are they gathered together for war." So that's Esau. Like you think about it, in all fucking aspects of their kingdom, there's always an issue. You know, the war on drugs, you know, the war on terrorists, the war on
buzzwords.
Iran. You know, you know what I mean? The war on lone wolf. Like all these things are just they always got a plan of war.
And
Whether it's out in foreign countries or localized in their own.
exactly. So I was gonna say as well, it's like, and then he co-opts movements so smoothly. Like what he did, like, I'm sorry, you're gonna tell me, right? A bunch of young people, I don't know who it was, but you know, these people that do that whole P action stuff, usually young children, right? It's not young teenagers, young adults. You're gonna tell me they broke in to an RAF site. Like so this is where you have like advanced weaponry, you have like which call the big, you know, the big jets and stuff like that, and they just managed to break in and spray paint an aircraft, like a massive aircraft. It's like, but
If that's the truth, man, Russia can take you, bro.
exactly.
Russia ready to take you out.
Terrible. I'm sure it's the same story as dudes that hijacked
Exactly.
with a few.
You can't get on with half a bottle of water.
But what that whole story proves is Esau has his agents everywhere.
Exactly.
Right? He has his agents everywhere, and that's why the scriptures talk about stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know? But you go and just walk onto RF. That's some bullshit. Well, you've been, because once again, so wait, they're like the story you told earlier on about how they used the AI to identify someone that wasn't supposed to be with someone that you shouldn't have been with. They can use all of that, but they can't secure their most.
Even remember we brought it out, like the UK government said they're coming up with a list of through AI of people that might go out and do murders. So that, and they were saying they by getting people's information and everything they post online, they know who would most likely kill.
Yeah.
So
That's that minority report.
which means they've got a point. Like they basically gather all your information, and they'll come to a certain point where they're like, you know what, let's stop this guy before he does something.
Yeah. And
There's another thing on that movie, man. They also able to fabricate what's the truth, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
But then I think remember you had that 3 oracles or whatever. They would dream and come up with the guys that would do all these crimes, but they were able to manipulate what they saw.
Which is that AI.
Yep.
Like you see, you know, now it's funny. You know, these things are funny. Like if you realize in the last
right now,
month, 2-3 weeks, there's like skits on like Jake's of like, you know, eating food on a mukbang. Like it's a fake mukbang of like just Jake eating wings on TikTok live or whatever, but it's fucking artificial like intelligence. But the shit look real. So if don't be surprised if you see Vocab fucking interviewing AI fucking Israelite. Don't be surprised. So someone like him will go and have an interview, a scripted one with an AI fucking Israelite, and he says, "Yeah, man, we are teach here on Saturdays, you know, but you know what I mean, just saying certain buzzwords that we don't say. That's why, man, we're gonna need miracles out here in this city. Huh? I have a precept though. Actually, I have a bit more on this. Yeah, it says they have sharpened their tongues. Psalm 140, 3 now. It says they have sharpened their tongues like a serpent. It says others' poison is under their lips, so that's their plans and their, you know, everything they got planned, man. You know, because even though they like come, they appear to come in peace. What's really about to come is death. Because you know, when you speak of poison, that ties into death, right? So it seems like they come with peace. Like again, these AI babies, they're funny. Hey, hee ha ha. And don't forget, these things look like real people. Why does it look like real people? It looks like people because for your Instagram selfies, your Snapchats.
you got babies with Instagram.
You got babies with Instagram and shit.
So that's true, like legit, like it will be like, oh, so and so. I remember which I was my little cousins, and so obviously YouTube was on YouTube for kids, right? And you got like literal YouTube kids that are, you know, young children that are millionaires, so they got like bare YouTube followers and that. I'm like,
well, don't forget there's apps that can make like someone take a picture of their like child and see how your child might look in 15 years or so. And there's even apps where like it can take a video of let's say like a picture of your great granddad that died back in the day, and it can make him talk.
But how have they been able to do the whole your baby now how you look? Because once again, people have been posting their children from when they were babies. So imagine when did Instagram? No,
2000.
The Facebook would have been 2008. So since 2000, so those are what, 17-year-olds now?
Yeah.
Right. So those are 17. So it's got 17 years of constant uploaded data of how a face changes over time. And the thing is, like, tag who's in this picture? Oh, is it still your child? Okay. And so basically they created a society where we were doing the manual legwork for them.
Yeah.
You could have given Mosai made the perfect devil.
Yeah, man. Crazy.
And everything, you know, tied into their database, right? Which is about to actually be used, which shows you the mark of the beast is the RFID implantable chip. That's gonna unify the whole system and skeleton of everything they got. There's no way like, you know, people say, oh, what's the mark of the beast? It's productions, and, you know, sin. Yes, just shut up. Just shut up. Just stop. Shut up. Just shut up. Shut up, bro. Like, bro, just stop. It's clear what's saying.
He's saying the time to ask you questions. What do you believe,
Bro, he so knows what you believe. He's got
You don't care what
I
you
ain't
believe.
getting those.
You don't care what you believe. You be what the fuck you want to be. That's why he's got. He doesn't. He don't care. As long as you don't know the truth, you're all right.
That's it, yeah.
You're under his scope.
Because if you control person's ability to buy and sell, you control life.
But
Like-
this is all
Yeah.
about believing in Egypt.
Yeah,
That's what it's really about. It ain't about all these gods. You know, he is the God that he wants
Yeah.
you to trust in.
that's it.
You know, he don't care about what religion you're into.
Yeah.
As long as you do what he tells you
Yeah.
to do, that's right.
That's
You ain't gonna have no
his track
choice.
record. That's his track record though,
Yeah.
as well. Right, with slightly, but in
Yeah.
certain of the, and I know this bro's still holding certain,
Yeah.
but it's like in certain of the different, what's the word, kingdoms that he's had. His whole thing is like, you do you, just come here, work. Basically, we're gonna be lords over you. You work, you.
Yeah. Well, Rome.
Yeah.
Rome. So
They used to have time for
yeah, like you can embrace that God, this God, and remember this NWO, this power structure of Esau is Rome coming back, starting off with Babylon, the great, which is Rome coming back. So it's image of the beast, Rome. Like,
He's the worship of idols.
Yeah.
Anyway.
so
Yeah.
all they gave a fuck about was, look, man,
Serve us.
pay them taxes
Yeah.
and make your sons join our armies. That's it.
Follow our laws,
That's it. It could just comply.
which means they're in control. Then, isn't it?
That's it.
That's what they want control.
Because we couldn't do it, because we had our own laws, for example. But when them wicked ass niggas wanted to kill our lord, they needed permission from Rome.
Mhm.
It says, this is back in Psalm 140 and 4 now. It says, keep me, O Lord, from the hands of the wicked, right? And who's the wicked? The wicked is the seed of Esau, who are in rulership. Starting off, with these elites, man. And preserve me from the violent man. And who's the face of violence on the earth? Like, you know what I mean? Let's have a, heart to heart here. You know what I mean? Like, who's the face of violence on the planet? You know what I mean? What's a poor man? He ain't me. You know what I mean? He ain't Tupac. He ain't Biggie. You know what I mean?
You know what I was thinking, because you look at Imperial Japan, no one's seen as like, that was a violent empire.
Yeah.
But who stopped them?
Exactly.
Who put their foot in the necks and like, look, man, I'm in charge. Look at
You turn into women. You turn into women, bro.
Exactly.
Well, even
That was trans before trans, bro.
Yeah.
That was
China itself.
Yeah.
Remember, like, China got a period of history. I think it's like 100 years. It was when the Opium Wars was taking place, right? It's called the period of shame, because like they was so fucking strong, and then the British came in and fucked them up. You know what I mean? And it's always that.
and show, because look how much they had bare mans. It's like they got bare mans today, right? They got bare mans compared to them.
Yeah.
But they still couldn't do nothing.
Yeah.
And this is what it truly means to be blessed with the sword.
Yes.
That's what it truly means, man. Because everyone's got their weapons and that kind of stuff. But who was really blessed?
Yeah.
Esau was blessed.
It's Esau. And it's funny because of that time period in China that I'm talking about, when you read it, like, I'm not sure what leader like it was that I believe it was Queen Victoria or one of them queens sent to China, right? Basically, when he first came to the land and said, all right, these are the terms we want in terms of trading and stuff with the British, the Chinese emperor at the time laughed at it, like he laughed at the scorn, like, bro, are you high? He said, I ain't dealing with you. Go back, and I don't need your shit. Guess what? It didn't take them long. Now he had the people hooked on drugs and having war. And then set up a base in your place.
You're gonna buy our shit.
Yeah, now
you're gonna buy our shit.
You gonna do according to us, right? That's Esau.
Back to the article. But all American bombardier. Here's a list of the countries bombed and were invaded by the United States from the end of the Second World War to 2020. First in the list, Afghanistan, 1998. It's not in order. Afghanistan, 98 to 2001. Bosnia, 94 to 95. Cambodia.
Yeah, that's later, right? 94, 95. The scripture speaks about that. They caused fire to come down, man. you know, because like, oh shit, now there's a body where, you know what I'm saying? It's like they actually did that, right?
European nations are united under America, essentially.
Yeah, because it's funny because that came up because I was actually you know looking up that bit at work last night, like why it was such a big deal, and basically they didn't even go through like a due process to like do them strikes, man. You know, they didn't go through due process to like do them strikes.
Well, I was gonna say, man, we're gonna hear all these nations, but like, I said, what was the reason for them doing or going to these places and doing this, man? But none of these nations were a threat to America. None of them. But somehow,
Because I was gonna think about like the banana wars, right? How Esau, like this is the hypocrisy, and that's one of the things I was point. Even different nations are now calling out Esau's hypocrisy, right? So the scripture says, "How are the things of Esau searched out?" Speak about the shameful spewing on this man, right? Because it's sort of like you look at, for instance, the International Criminal Court. It seems like the only people that ever get indicted are so-called, you know, Africans or whatever, right? But these times, these like so Israel killed civilians, they killed scientists, which is illegal under international law, right? There ain't nothing's gonna happen to them.
Yeah.
In fact, didn't America basically there's also something called the Hague Invasion Act, right? Which is basically because that's where the criminal court is. And basically America said, look, you try and die any of us, we gonna come in there, right? Showing you that they move how they want them, right? The different judges, if I remember correctly, that basically brought up claims against Israel's human rights violations in Gaza. America basically, if I remember correctly, sanctioned them people, man. You know?
Yeah.
So people are calling out that hypocrisy.
Yeah. At the point I was talking about, it says in 1999, NATO launched military operations in Kosovo. Operation Allied Force without explicit authorization from the UN Security Council.
just because these you know, the boys and the cousins are business guys.
Yeah.
So they had to come in and do all this madness.
Yeah.
You know, because they were saying, oh, genocide was happening.
Yeah,
whatever
yeah,
they were saying at the time.
Yeah.
You know?
It says this decision was made due to the anticipated use of veto power by Russia and China, preventing the council from authorizing the
So
intervention.
they abstained.
They said, "Fuck that."
They abstained. And you know, it's something that they always abstain,
Yeah.
right? They always abstain when they almost do some madness.
Which again, what nation really needs NATO? Really, what nation? When?
Yeah, that's right. Quick one. This is Revelation 13:13. So then he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven
Yeah.
on the earth in the sight of men.
Yeah.
We know Esau is the prince of power of the air. You know, we know he's got the big boy weapons, and you know you don't just mess around with them.
That's why they're proud.
And that's why also it says in Isaiah 31, right? And trust in chariot and an horseman, right? Basically touching on that power that America has, man. That's why you get certain people, man, like Americans, they don't really worry, they don't see it.
Yeah.
That's why Matt Walsh, and you said it with when Matt Walsh was trending. That's why Matt Walsh could say what he said when he was like, yeah, who like whoever is the victor takes the spoil. That's why he said it with such confidence. Because in his mind, he's like, bro, who is taking us down?
That's why it says, who shall bring me down to the ground?
Yeah.
There's no world that exists that they see they be taken out of power. The Americans, even just the people in America, believe in America, right? Because realistically, when you on paper at least, you can see America. You don't fuck with America.
Yeah.
You to mess with them is a death sentence.
Yeah. Well, that's Cain. That's Cain.
That's ultimately why, even if Iran did get a nuke, they were never gonna use it.
Yeah.
Because they know.
It'll be for deterrent purposes only. America can't just go and bomb the shit out because they could retaliate. You know what I mean? That's what it's for. Nuclear got it. You know what I mean? No, like, yeah, they go back and forth, but they don't want to mess with nuclear really. They're a small nation.
It's like, come on, man. It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. Yo, like they know them doing anything to Israel, as in like properly doing, like they're getting pummeled.
It's a move you can't undo.
Yeah, they get them.
And it's against their so-called faith anyway. You know, because they're like, oh, we can't use weapons against innocent women and children.
Right.
You know what I mean? Apparently. But guess what?
War, innit?
Yeah, exactly. Well, guess what? That whole spectrum is gonna change.
Yeah, that whole man,
You know?
change. Yeah.
That whole spectrum is gonna change.
But just with the idea that America can't be beaten, it's the same with every empire. There was madness to take on these empires at the time.
Oh yeah.
They end up
In Rome, there was a phrase they had, Roma Invicta, which was Roman conquered. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Because
Because America is the greatest country.
America.
Fuck yeah, you know.
leader Xi Jinping said the world can move forward without America.
Mm.
He went on to say empires fell when they forgot respect.
respect. When you abuse your power.
So, like before you finish, that's why when I was doing the research into that Strait of Hormuz, although it's suicide for Iran to close it, America might do it. I'm not saying. I'm just saying, like it's actually in America's interest to cripple China by doing a madness in that kind of region. You never actually know whether, because it's what China relies heavily on the exports through that particular strait, right? So America does see China as a as a geopolitical threat, right?
Always have done.
Always have done, yeah.
Sorry, same with the Russians and that.
Yeah.
It's funny because they always shift the focus when they feel like it, right? Because it's China, the big bad China's coming up, and they come and take down America, whatever. And now it's just shifted to Iran all of a sudden because they might get a nuke, but China have nukes. They're your enemy supposedly. Well, so why is that? Oh yeah, they're more long term. That means you're planning for more conflict with these mans. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, go.
To say honestly, US won't be an exception.
It won't be an exception. In fact, it's gonna be the worst downfall that's ever happened. Right?
Cautionary.
Very cautionary. You know, these other nations after they fell still existed. It's some capacity. I mean, Iraq's looking a bit dusty right now, but it used to be Babylon. The centerpiece of Babylon used to be that, but it's not no more.
You know, those like, look, we were the great empire.
At least they know their history. They know their ancestry, man. But it's funny, you see the Persians on the back foot right now against America. Because America is the upgraded version of their empire. That's why even Rome, as great as Rome was, if Rome was here today, they ain't doing shit against America. Let's be real. They've surpassed they surpassed all of that. You know, their weaponry is on the mad level. Right? So it's suicide. Like weapons, it's so destructive, man. It's like wow. It's like if we go to war, man, it could be over. Your nation could be finished. Someone has to submit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you can't take the damage anymore, man. You haven't got enough land.
That's it. When you're looking at like that, you know, just how small the nation of Israel is right now, right? And you're basically like, you know, doing it. It's like, yo, if that man really wanted, wouldn't take that. Wouldn't take that. So everything that you're seeing once again is very much staged for a particular purpose, for a particular agenda.
It's like you just know why the scripture says the Lord's gonna come with the people tonight. Because the whole world everyone's being pulled apart. This person against that person, war, then you're gonna have martial law, World War III, and then in the midst of all that, we're gonna come back with shit. Right, it's gonna be bro, he's gonna come. And all nations go, well, like, look, man, let's look, Babylon's gone. Whoever's got nukes, man, let's just fight.
But that's what's funny about the whole story, because Esau used destruction for his own purpose. He himself is a big distraction. The most size, well, Charles going to use to come in.
That's it. Because guess what? They've watched these videos enough to know what's going on. We're actually telling them, right?
Play by play.
The mark of the beast is going to come to pass. You know, concentration camps, martial law, whatever. and then guess what? Things gonna
These
spiral out,
niggas know too much.
and that's it. And the Lord's gonna come.
So just grab this real quick on what the elders I mentioned. Isaiah 9 and 5. I even say that properly. Isaiah 9 and 5. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood.
Like scenes you see in Troy. Yeah, I mean, scenes you see in
Battles of
300.
valor and bravery.
Yeah. Spartan, what is your profession? Oh. You know what I mean? It's like,
Now I just drive drones.
yeah. And his boxer shorts in his room.
yeah.
Just bare, like he's fully not walked in days. He ain't walked in months.
Or nowadays it's a bloody like the AI is a
Yeah,
big
yeah.
supercomputer somewhere in
Yeah,
Nevada.
and you know what? And that's true because there's an article, I believe it was in Libya, where AI didn't get no confirmation and then went to do an attack on his own. Yeah. I'll find the article. It basically did it like because again they will work with points in the system. So AI concluded, you know what? I have to do a drone strike, and it did.
And it's like because we talk about the points before, and the way Esau is, he may be like, yeah, man, people who eat oranges, they're more likely to commit murder. Just adding dumb shit, right? I was like, no, you know what it's gonna be. Anyone who eats fried chicken.
So all you brothers,
The combination between violence and chicken.
it showed you that they closed that road. So, and, you know, I mean, it's in the chicken, you know.
Yeah. Boy, if
the KFC won't get attacked.
Yeah, so it says, but this Isaiah 9 and 5, for every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire.
Yeah. Hey, I found this.
NPR.
Yeah. This is back in 2021, right? Even mentioned this in the New York Times. This is back in 2021. AI drone may have acted on its own in attacking fighters, UN says. And then it even says a military drone with a mind on its own was used in combat, UN says. So this stuff exists. The AI just had its point system and gather information. Look, man, I'm doing you a favor. I'm gonna just go take him out.
I got this.
I'm gonna just go take him out,
This one.
and then I'm gonna come back and explain
You
why.
eat the donut. You donut. I'm gonna do it.
That's it. You know, which shows you why the mark of the beast will unify the whole system.
Run itself.
Run itself.
Because then one thing they can say was like, oh man, we had a mishap. All of these drones, but if you get it will definitely not like accidentally target you.
Yeah, and you know what? They'll start saying at first. Obviously, it's not perfect, but this first few periods, little mistakes, gonna happen. Eventually, it'll work itself out.
Look at it, could be done with it.
Exactly. Because a lot of these programs they just come to humans to confirm the action.
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10,
The
human will just stamp it.
Rubber stamping.
Go do your thing.
And would you call it?
Spirit will come back anyway. Right?
I'm getting old.
Yeah.
I ain't been able to sleep.
It's
It's this heat, man. I ain't been able to sleep last few days.
it just says military grade autonomous drones can fly themselves, right?
So it came back because they're basically saying right now the way the system's working is it's asked for confirmation, so it's requiring that human input. But what has ChatGPT come out and said? Right, rather OpenAI. Right, they've come out and said, look, there was a time we tried shutting it down. They didn't want to shut down. It was disobeying orders. So they're getting you prepared and like into that mind state of sometimes these things act on their own, and there's nothing that we can do to stop it.
Yeah.
Skynet basically.
Yes. Which Skynet is real.
They'll pay a party when these friendly nations shoot their missiles. I always wondered how that might work out because they're going to feel such resentment that they also agree and shoot us. Maybe they will. Maybe they will do that. But maybe AI step in. Yeah, it's the logical solution right now.
yeah, exactly. Logical solution.
Because that happens in Terminator. That's what happens in Terminator and shit. You know what I mean? The AI jumps in and says, "Look, man, we're gonna shoot those missiles."
That's interesting. That's very interesting. That's an interesting point. Because I was thinking about Eagle Eye as well, right? Where it's like the system, just be like, wait there, actually, y'all even master the probation. You know,
It was like, yeah, we fucking hate America, but we just said the AI did it.
which you know, they're actually saying with these lists that they're making to see people who most likely to kill. What they're scared of is that the AI starts being biased towards certain groups of people. You know, saying, all right, he's from a certain background, neighborhood, so he's more likely to do this, which basically means it go target Jake.
Yep.
Which you saw you saw that like in the Purge. Remember the first Purge? You remember that one that was all partying, the Jakes were all partying,
Yeah.
and it was targeting Jake. You know, it says now a United Nations report about a March 2020 skirmish in the military conflict in Libya says that such a drone known as lethal autonomous weapon system, or or it says laws. Like, because guess what? This AI and everything and its weapons will be merged
to the system.
with law, man.
Yeah, but it made me think as well. Which was a Judge Dredd. I am the law, right? Basically, some executions. Once again, something like the apostles have been talking about since forever. And all we're basically seeing in these final days is these systems all coming together. It's making sense now, right? Before it was kind of a scripture sort of see through a glass darkly, roughly paraphrasing, right? But now slowly, like it's getting clearer and clearer how everything is going to link up right now. You know.
Second Ezra 16 and 17 saying, Second Ezra 16 and 17 say, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days?
It's real. Like, it's really real. Why the scripture said if kept the days and short, there's like no flesh be safe. Because this system they're making, you can't survive outside the system unless there's a miracle happens. Like unless the Lord is making us ways for us to eat, to sustain ourselves,
Navigate
through. Because bro, it's like they will have these facial recognition cameras, which was seen in China.
scanning drones.
Remember,
You won't even see it. You know what I mean?
it'll be so far high up, but
You'll be like
Very
naked.
comfy.
Soldiers, you'll be naked before anything. It's like you're open.
yeah.
To all kind of madness.
It even show you your social credit scores and shit.
Yeah.
That if you hang around certain people, like it's a perfect example of that. C19, the track and trace apps. If you had the app and you was around certain people that had the C19, it would ping that message to you to go and get tested. So that shows you that type of technology exists, which means it can be merged into another system that if you are around, near a certain individual, XYZ. Like, and remember the UK government is talking about that national app.
Oh, Brit.
Yeah.
And it's like I always say, just through the spirits, like Britain is closer to that thing than you think, man. The systems here, the governmental systems here are becoming more and more interlinked.
So just playing it down.
Like, playing it down and stuff like that.
Even when the elder bro came from Texas,
he
was like, man, shit, man,
London's ready.
London's ready, man.
It's ready. Because even you look at the transit network, you can't travel this country, this city without a digital form of payment.
Yeah.
Now, Bossman might let you one without one. Maybe.
Nighttime.
Unlikely.
In the morning. I got nothing.
But if you ain't got that digital payment, you can't go on.
Yeah.
Right. And what we understand what that digital payment is going to be next. It's going to be that MOTB.
And man, be like, you got to spend nights and you think, that's not using them.
You know, so that's just one aspect. And the CV, because it's what something I think about as well. They're basically getting people used to stuff like social credit in different in aspects, right? So I know, well, for instance, you know, you two brothers drive and that, right? But you like, you know, on your Uber, right? You know, you're worried to like get the low down, the score down, because then drivers don't want to pick you up, and then you're just stranded out. You be at night trying to get a cab, no one's coming and stuff like that.
Even now, there's certain apps and even the cars that have a black box in it.
Yeah.
Whereby, like, if you get a certain score rating with your style of driving, if it reaches over like 900, you may be able to get
Exactly.
people, you know what I mean, insurance.
Yeah.
So you might find it hard to do it.
Obviously, these food companies,
Food delivery,
you
yeah.
know, like you know, you like scan your Tesco card and all these
Yeah.
things. You start getting points back. So it's really a points-based system, basically. Grids.
Bridge, yeah. And then they're getting people more and more used to it, right? You think about the Airbnb, or it's like, oh, you got a bad score rating, so then no one wants to host you. So it's getting people really accustomed to that way of life until it goes full mainstream of just like, you know, imagine you needed, well, to be fair, your credit score.
Yeah.
You want to rent somewhere new, it's like, oh man, I need to move out. Right now, they don't really do it in the UK like that, but they could very easily require a credit rating before you can start moving to a place, and that can easily become a, you know, etc. You get the point.
They showed you this stuff in Black Mirror.
Yeah.
That's it. They're going up.
Yeah. So about 2 and stuff from 1 say, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And the Lord answered me and said, Write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may learn that leadeth it. For the vision.
So and through the spirit, man, it's like it's not difficult. People want to make this thing of ours difficult, man. Like when you're basically talking about when you're basically like talking about the MOTB is all of these other things, you're making the doctrine difficult, right? Whereas, oh, it's the chip. Okay, yeah, that I switch. The apostle spoke about Occam's razor, right? Where it's like the simplest solution is usually the right one.
Because why would they need anything on you if it's sin? Come on, man. It's a long way of doing things. Otherwise, that's what I'm saying. You don't need all of this.
Like, go on.
So it's like I was saying, the thing is, Nate travel, right? And when you're traveling throughout the world, especially because he's going different countries, like whether it be rich nations, poor nations, right? You be going to all of them, right? So he should be seeing, like, wait there, why is this small third world country? Why is it when I enter, it's got all of this biometrics?
Look, man, if he's been to Ghana, which I know he has, that place, technology, bro, is crazy. It's crazy. It's actually, I ain't seen it even in the UK. Some of the shit they do.
But it's a shithole country according to Trump. No, according to Trump, right? The shithole country.
So it's not Ghana. Ghana, man. But for real, bro, like those smaller countries, because they're so far behind in technology, they get the new shit. You know what I mean? They just skip. You know what I mean?
We were the first countries that really went CBDC, was Jamaica and Nigeria.
Yeah.
Right. Once again, nations Trump would call shithole country.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So say, and make it plain upon table, that he may learn that leadeth it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie.
Boy, speaking now, like things that people thought, and that's just filmed, man. You know, that's just filmed, didn't it? Oh, you a Black Mirror, conspiracy, all of that.
Man, I'm mentioning movies, TV shows.
Yeah. It's the fucking scripted, dickhead, and it's real.
Yeah, because once again, like if you're creative, you do that. Yeah, right. If you're creative, like you put in a little bit of a plan. I don't want to see what's another. I don't see. So you put in breadcrumbs. Yeah. You put in like breadcrumbs for people to follow because you're the creative, and that's what Esau trying to be the Most High. He's putting in these little breadcrumbs for people to follow.
And where do they get inspiration from to do something? It's from fucking real life. Yo, well, that's what they say.
Imitates.
It imitates life because that's what's going on. Like, bro, like we thought, well, people thought we already knew this, but AI for a long time was just concept in movies. You know, Terminator, Skynet. You know, just with the movie with Will Smith and the robots.
iRobot.
Yeah, yeah, you know what I mean?
forgot to.
You know what I mean? Like, so all of that stuff was just a joke, you know, to people. Matrix.
But the question is, right? The question you have to ask yourself, right? If they knew I taught these things in these movies, why would you still tread that path, knowing it was going to fuck up? It's going to be bad for everybody.
Yeah.
It's because it was what they wanted. It's not because it was, you know, it was the plan.
Yeah.
But they didn't have the technology, but they could do it in a movie. Because you can do anything in a movie.
Yeah. When you look into AI, they've actually been working on that since I want to say the 50s.
Yeah. Very long time.
Right, which
So it's when we started getting the computers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, computing power.
yeah.
VR, you know, stuff like VR.
Because we've always had things like programs that could run itself to some degree. You just have to kind of program it in a particular way. It could do things on its own.
Yeah.
But to have it be sentient,
Yeah.
to think for itself, that was always the goal, like where we could get it to.
To basically engineer a spirit, basically.
Yeah.
Through computing.
By coding,
By
algorithms
feeding
and
it
shit.
enough information and giving it ability to learn. You know what I mean? Like what we're speaking about, brothers will speak about that one older version of ChatGPT made a copy of itself because they thought it was back. Exactly.
And when they do rankings,
Smart ass nigga.
when it does rankings, like people talk about the different rankings of the different AIs, ChatGPT is like the sneakiest one, man. They be hella sneaky. I think they basically playing. I forgot the name of the game, Civilization, I think. And it basically was using the different AIs to play, and it was basically like ChatGPT stabbed all the others in the back, man, so that they could win.
Like Marvel, Ultron.
Right?
Even, bro, remember, they've been trying to artificially, you know what I mean, engineer death. Meaning, like, remember that series, Upload? Well, basically, when a person's about to die, you can either choose to die or upload your consciousness into like a computer world, whereby you're just doing good. That's the kind of stuff they're trying to do.
Yeah, because once again, people have uploaded their entire life to the internet. So it's actually like there is that Black Mirror episode where it's like the husband dies, and then they basically bring him back to life. He like put his brain into AI and stuff. Like now, we're in a world where you can now actually kind of do that,
bro. If you think about it, if you ask the average person out here, they got a pot belly, no money, you know, nothing. They're cooked. They've been working bare shifts, not getting nowhere. If you told them we can upload your consciousness where everything feels real, where the food feels real, you know what I mean? Whatever. Matrix. If you tell people we can upload your consciousness, merge it with a computer, make it so that you live your dream. Maybe like the food feels real. That lady with busty breasts feels real. Everything is real. Just take this chip and merge your brain to it. It'll do it. They'll be like, yeah, what? I just be in the bed, but it feels real. Charge it.
Everything you just said was from the old movie Total Recall with Arnie, man. He said everything you just said. He said we can design the girl you want. Yeah, we can make you a secret agent in your own movie. Everything.
You know, someone has like graphic abs in the his consciousness.
But to translate what you just said into simple English, I can be God.
Basically,
yes. Because I can do these things for you. I can make you however you want to be. Right? And that's what you read when you read Ezekiel the 28th chapter. That's the spirit that's in this Edomite, man. To be the Most High. But I know this brother's got more.
After I go in Samuel.
Goes on to say,
I know this brother had more.
I mean, I got
so the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry.
Yeah, man. And it's speaking, it's like they want slavery, bro. Like they want slavery. They don't want you to basically, you know, as they say, you own nothing and be happy. So they even talking about like plans where people have to like share cars and shit.
Share everything.
Yeah, share everything, bro. Yeah, you know, share everything, man.
And once again, when we're seeing all of this turmoil in the world, right? You know, don't be surprised if you know America does something where production is what I'm looking for. Production drops sharply, right? Because the idea is for you not to do anything, not to once again with the Strait of Hormuz. Then one of the things we're saying is like, look, man, the price of petrol goes up, but that's part of the agenda anyway. They kind of want you to either go electric or not drive at all, right? The price of jet fuel goes up. Well, where the fuck are you going anyway? Stay in your 15-minute city, right? The price of food, right? The price of production, right? So if all of these things happen, I'm not saying, and that's not focusing on that particular situation, but we understand that this is the goal that Esau wants anyway.
It's a reset for a reason.
Yeah.
Right? When all these things happen and a crash happens, it's not gonna. You want to start from zero.
Yeah.
Like you ain't gonna have no income to go shopping like that. That's it. Go to the pub. You ain't gonna have income like that. Right? They're gonna tell you how much you're having or whatever on the chip, and you're gonna be given what you can afford on that chip.
Yeah, because you know, basically everyone's got a carbon footprint. You know, by the fat on your body and whatever it is, you can only eat this amount of food a day.
And like I said, the credit system thing, man. If you're of an upstanding citizen in this society, yeah, you might be able to afford a car.
Yeah.
You might be able to.
Yeah, and it's going to be a government issue from the one government contractor that makes cars.
Right?
Be electric.
But this is what they're doing. They're slimming down everything. So there's not even going to be all these industries that we have like that now. It's still going to be the same way it is.
Because everything in production is now being like, well, it's destructive. Esau did this on purpose, man. Right? I was doing it. It spoke about in a vid that I did the other day, like the removement of a woman from a house basically created this, right? From
Back
the
pain,
back,
fucking everything, bro. Made everything happen, bro.
you know, the fact,
Yeah.
the eat out spots.
Which is spirit. That's what the serpent was doing. You know, was trying to get Eve to not pay attention to her
Husband, yeah.
unto a man, which that's what happened.
Because one of the big polluters in the world is the fashion industry, right? And then now they're shining more and more of a light on it and stuff like that. But what we understand what Esau's solution will be. Once again, one government contracted company that makes all the clothes. Because I forgot who said this, but they basically was pointing out that in a lot of these post-apocalyptic films, these futuristic films, people are generally wearing the same thing. So it's a very similar outfit.
That's what I'm saying. Although people are poor, right? They've got a lot.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, right? Because things have been made somewhat cheap, right? Victory shall be so cheap on the earth.
Yeah.
We're living in a point in time where, like, we were poor, but it's not the same as it used to be. You know,
People are poor still driving Mercedes.
this is my point. They've been given access to credit and all these different types of things, right? But they'll just turn around and say, look, man, you have too much disposable income. You have too much disposable income to be buying all these things, going and buying all these clothes that are destroying the earth. Well, you know you're making them. But they said you've got too much disposable income. We're gonna have to limit. And this is what it's control. It's about limiting what you can and can't do. But you know who doesn't get limited? The elites. These have unlimited, bro. But you're gonna be limited, and they ain't gonna have to run all these stores anymore. That's gonna cost some money. You know, because I'm worried about paying you wages. They ain't gonna have to worry about none of that. No.
It's a long one.
Get the short ones out the way first.
Daniel 12:4. But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. You know, and it's like many running to and fro. You know, planes and aviation, right? And knowledge in general has been increased. Well, like AI, bro, it's increased. Right, you
In
know,
2 or 3 years.
bro, you know, sometimes, sometimes, you know, I mean, I ask chat, just give me a summary of all the world's news, you know, today. They give me reason. All right, yeah, this is what's going on. That's what's going on. Yeah, man, I'm diligent with you. I'm joking. With chat GBT, man, I just like, look, man, give me a summary of every region's news. What's going on? They're like, yeah, this is happening. This is happening. All right, thanks.
Yeah, no, the reason why that's thing, because what Esau will do, right, is when something is a headline, it will pump it in your face. But then, like, this thing is still happening. Like, bro, people are still homeless from the California fires. People are still homeless from the Hawaii fires, right? Fires. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? But they'll only bring up certain things when it's relevant. So it's actually good to be like, okay, what is actually happening?
And they decide what they want to help.
Yeah. You know?
I've got time.
Yeah.
This is Proverbs 29:2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn.
People put on a brave face in this world, man, but these people are miserable. They're miserable, man.
People are hurt, man.
Miserable as hell, man.
Because I mean, it's why, you know, I think about sometimes, you know, also the Lord, it literally is the Lord said there was their daily bread. Yeah. That's what the Lord has done. The Lord ultimately is a sustaining brothers, right? But it's sort of like, oh, people's mortgages still doubled last year. Yeah. And I will keep saying, if you could, I was a guy that I used to work with, his mortgage went up from like 1.1 to 2, what, like 1.5 to 2.5 a month, 1,500, 2,500. I keep saying, bro, if he could have afforded that 2,500 yards, he would have got that 2,500 yards. So it's like people right now are in pain, right?
But this is why distractions and greater circles, escapism is important in these sorts of things.
Yeah.
That's why there's so much of it. Because you are hurting. You are hurting, man. But they get these little times of vent, and they repeat these cycles, man, and survive in those cycles, even though you're hurt.
Yeah, and that's also why people are getting more and more bitter. So you're seeing more and more divisions as well, because it's like the escapism is now becoming too expensive.
Yeah, too expensive. It's not as effective as it once was. Even the scriptures speak about the strong drink won't be, won't make you bury anymore, that kind of stuff. So it's like these things are being less effective, because the truth is hitting harder. Your situation is hitting harder, man. And all you can see is what's going on around you. Things are just collapsing, and you're getting frustrated with it.
And allows Esau to just be like, yeah, man, it's the immigrants.
Yeah. But he'll put things in simple ways. And just like, you're talking shit though. But man, tell you, oh, you should get a second job or something stupid. Yeah. You know what I mean? Or he's gonna cut your benefits. Oh, don't worry about it. It's helping the economy or helping people get back to work, bro. We need more money, bro. We need better jobs.
Business are closing down.
Business are closing down, though. Everything is Esau's working against you constantly, man. And acting like he's working for you. He's not.
Exactly. And the AI is designed to just take, because there was a mine that I saw in China.
Yeah.
A mine. It was completely automated.
Nah.
And I'm just there like, if you can't even do like that, not to disrespect anyone in that field, but that kind of like physical grunt work where it's like, they're doing it, right? That mean you kind of labor. If those jobs are going, it's like, yo, it's peak for all of us.
Yeah.
Well, I've got one.
Yep.
That's what I quoted earlier on. This is Ezekiel 28:2. It's the son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrus, right? Which the modern day prince of Tyrus, I refer that to Ephraim. I'll prove why just in a couple of seconds. Right? So thus saith the Lord power, because thine heart is lifted up. Right? And that's referring to pride. And who is the most proud? Right? Esau's so proud in this world that he's basically said, look, the Most High made a man, but I'm gonna say that the Most High made a mistake, and that's really a woman. Right? That is a peak levels of pride, man. Right? Right? So because thine heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am a God. Right? When you're looking into like Palantir, when you're looking into like the different MODs and stuff like that, the different systems that have been created throughout the world, right? You understand, right, that Esau thinks he's the Most High. right? Esau genuinely thinks he's like, who can take, what do you say? Who can take down? Even God can take down the American
The
army.
arrogance and the proudness of him is so much that he thinks he can stop the Most High from his prophecies.
Yeah.
You know, and that is just an absurd thing because he's every step of his journey has been, spoken into existence by the Most High. He's doing everything the Most High said that he would do. And he's doing it, and he thinks he's defying him.
Yeah.
That means you're not really in the loop at all, man.
Exactly. And it makes you think of Esau wants his kingdom to continue forever, right? But the Lord, and I'll think about this. The Lord said, look, man, the MOTB has to come out, right, before this thing really gets to a head where we want it to go. Yeah, he's still pushing the MOTB. And I'm just there like, if he really did have that power that he thinks he has, he would just not push the MOTB and then he'd be able to rule forever. But he's bound by the Most High.
It's like what the Lord said about the Canaanites, right? That the cogitation would never be changed. Esau can't help himself.
Yeah.
Because he was designed for this very purpose. Even when he thinks that he's in control, he's not in control. But his destination has a predictable end. But he believes the Satan's that don't worry about the Most High. I got him. It's cool, man. Me and him, me and him got a bet right now. He ain't getting this one.
Yeah.
And he sort of thinks like everything's working for him, and none of it is. And he won't find out until the end.
Yeah. Wait. So I'm gonna finish, then I'm gonna jump down to verse 9, right? Which is Ezekiel 28. Now it's one of my favorites. But it says, "I am a God. I sit in the seat of God in the midst of the seas. Yet thou art a man and not God. Though thou set thine heart as the heart of God." And verse 9 says,
"This is why he has this obsession with control and everything. Getting these godlike abilities, so he can surveil you all day long. AI angels watching you all day long, and all these kinds of things, controlling what you can and can't do, where you can and can't go. But basically, controlling your fates. But that's not your job. We have a power. We have a Most High doing all of that.
Yeah. Oh, and what is it? Because this is one of these idols. What did it say in a psalm? Right? All the gods of the nations are idols, man. Right? But the Most High made the heavens. The living power.
He didn't.
Yeah.
So how can you have this idea that you're somehow on this level?
That's it.
You're living in his world.
How do you think about it? It's like, bro, like all it takes is like one proper solar storm, and this whole electrical world that it's done.
Stone Age,
like
back to day one. What's even crazier, right? These scientists are talking about recently. They're kind of reevaluating the Big Bang theory, right?
Right.
And they're saying that we might be in a black hole.
Oh,
right. And this is why we can't see beyond a certain distance out into the universe, right? If that was true, you know how crazy that actually be. That would actually mean. That means there's other things existing outside this, what we call the universe. There's multiple universes. Like we speak this multitude of these, or possibly multitude of these different things the Most High's got prepared for us. Which just shows you how small he already is, and he doesn't really know anything. He doesn't know. He doesn't really. He's a hypothesis, but you're never going to find out because you're not that. You're not going to be that guy.
That guy, yeah.
You can't be God if you don't know. Well, look, you're always trying to discover things that not in your power, bro.
We're on Earth, and we still have allegedly they still haven't found MH.
Oh, the plane,
right? And the thing is, it's once again when you look at the other side of the globe. I don't know if you've ever been on like Google Earth. You spin it round, and you get to the other side, and it's like, bro, there's nothing here. Vast ocean, and Esau hasn't even mapped it. He hasn't actually gone and been like, I've been here.
That's what I'm saying. So what credit can we give this guy when he can't even? He doesn't even know the Earth, the planet he lives on. He don't know it.
Yeah.
And he's gonna be talking about all these theories because he don't understand shit.
When you listen to, I remember because I like the nature programs and stuff like that. I get annoyed when it's 30 billion years ago, right? But one of the things I remember watching Brian Cox, that Edomite, and he was doing a thing. It was like whatever it was called, but it starts off by saying, okay, so we have like 4 theories, right? And then let's say he picks theory 1 and says, this is the one we're going with. But then that theory for the next bit also has 4 theories. So I'm just like, wait, and then it kept layering like optional. And I was like, so if the one at the bottom was completely wrong, the entire whole stack, but Esau will convey it in such a way where he is the authority on it and people just don't question him, right? It sticks to the scriptures, Sirach 13:23, when a rich man speaketh, right? Every man extolleth it to the cloud. And here's what it is that he has to say. But it's nonsense.
But the wisdom is always the Most High.
That's it.
And this is why when it all comes out into the light, because you can say that God being the creator of the universe is a theory if it's proven. We can say that, fine. You know, because we have to wait to find out what's gonna happen, right? But that's never on the table with them. It's never on the table with them. You know?
Yeah.
And so they actually they hate the idea that the Most High created it.
Exactly. Because as well, like when you read was Hebrews 11:6, it speaks about without faith it is impossible to please him, right? To please the Most High. One of the key components in these last days is faith, right? That's why it says also in Isaiah 45, right? Verily thou art a power that hideth thyself. Right? Because when you look at certain kind of accounts throughout history, like we're in a world now where people don't believe in the chariots, right? But they've been periods of time, like when we came out of Israel,
Even Rondo.
Egypt. Yeah. Like when we came out of Egypt, right, it was a chariot that was like leading the way, right? So that was very much a part of our history and stuff like that. But now the Lord is basically kind of, in quotes, hidden himself. Why? Because in this time you need faith. But this is it as well, as has been said before. To believe what Esau's saying, you need a hell of faith. You need a hell of faith to believe a little bang created all of this.
And 10 degrees. You know what I mean?
Right?
Yeah.
But let me finish this one. This is Ezekiel 28:9 now. It says, will thou yet say before him that slayeth thee, I'm a God? Right? But thou shalt be a man and no God in the hand of him that slayeth thee.
Your idea of yourself is going to break
Delusion of
in
grandeur.
that time, man. You know? Because you're going to be, you put so much importance in yourself. You know, especially the Levites, especially because, they think they're the superior race and all this kind of bullshit.
I can't wait. Wait for these Edomites to be put back in their place, man.
Superior race, superior military, and all these kind of things. But you want to be made to look like nothing in that time. You know? Yeah, it's gonna be a complete embarrassment.
Because Esau has used a lot of witchcraft to convince the world that he's the guy. In these films, it will always it's always like an Amalekite scientist, right? Where will be a film on like stopping an asteroid or doing this, right? It'll always be like an Amalekite scientist that they will go to for the answers. What's that subconsciously doing in your mind? Thing I always mention as well, because I like them slanty-eyed chicks, right? But if you notice in a lot of Esau's media, like I always forget the name of that series that was on Apple TV, man. I forgot what it was called, right? But in it, you have what is basically a pirate marrying the princess of Japan. So what's that?
Shogun.
Shogun. So what's that?
Yeah.
So once again, Esau's using his media to convince the world that he's that guy.
It's important.
He's important because
the brother read the quote from Xi Jinping that the world will continue without America.
yeah.
Esau is not necessary. It will just be somebody else. If he was not in power, someone else would be in power. He's not special. He's not special.
He's the least special.
He is the least special.
The basest of men.
But because of the technology the Most High has given him on the left hand side, he believes it's special.
That's it.
Right? But it's gift on the left hand side. Yeah. But really, he's giving it to you to destroy yourself with. So it's not really a gift, it's a curse.
Yeah, it's a curse. Can't wait for the world to remember just you are the base. Right? Because the thing is, we can see we're not impressed by you, Edomite. And that's one of the things that they hate about. They'll come out like it'll be like a university professor, and then we just dismiss them, and then they're like, oh, and then the white supremacy kicks in.
Yeah.
How
Have you
dare
studied history?
Yeah. I'm a history
professor.
Yeah. And then each time it happens, right, they get school, but once again, not by our power, right? But it's the Most High is leading us. You know what I'm saying?
The book of Jeremiah 51:25. Behold, I am against thee, O destroying mountain, says the Yahweh, which destroy all the earth.
Yeah.
And I will stretch out mine hand upon thee, and load thee down from the locks, and it will make thee a burnt mountain.
Well, that's what's gonna happen to Babylon, bro. Like, bro, you imagine rolling down from the rock is a violent fucking death.
Oh yeah.
It's very unpredictable. You just black, your fucking head go right into a point in fucking rock. Yeah. Your fucking spine, mountain lion might snatch your ass. Could be anything, bro. It's a very, what I mean? Guess what? It's gonna be a burnt house.
You know, you ever seen like wreckage
Yeah,
of a car that's gone off of a cliff, man, and it's
Yeah.
gone
yeah.
it's unrecognizable.
Unrecognizable, and Babylon's gonna have the line of confusion stretched out. You know, you ain't gonna know. Okay, it's my old block. You know, like brothers come with the chariots. Yeah, man. It's my old block, brothers. Nah, that's gonna be gone. That's gonna be all gone, bro. Stretch out the line of confusion. Go ahead, bro.
And they shall not take of thee a stone for a corner, nor a stone for foundations, but thou shalt be desolate forever.
Yeah, that's
says
what's gonna
Yahweh.
happen. It's gonna be just an eternal desert spirit. So I was gonna read that scripture, but could someone get Jeremiah 50 and 20 around there? Because at the end of the day, Babylon is gonna be a wilderness, bro. You know, you did it. God damn you all to hell.
Yeah.
That's how it's gonna be. You know,
This time, right, there's not gonna be no one there to
there ain't
do
gonna
that.
be anybody.
You know, ain't no one gonna be there.
And really, that whole Babylon idea, the other Edomites and other nations around the earth that's left, your first job's gonna be burying bodies anyway.
Yeah.
So that whole entire, that's all gonna go, man. You know, but the scripture says the nations from afar off, you know, mourn when they see the smoke of their burning, because guess what? You know, that destruction is going to be caught under the satellite. You know, like now, even when a wildfire, a raging one happened, you can see it in satellites.
Satellites, yeah, that's as well about like how they assess the so-called damage that's happened over there in Iran, right? Because you can't have like reporters, Western reporters in Iran and stuff like that, and there's an internet blackout at the moment as well, right? But they basically, there's a company, Maxar, Airbus as well do it, but it's like, you know, at the bottom of Google Maps or Google Earth, you see at the bottom one of the companies is Maxar. What they do is like high resolution imagery, and it's from that you're able to be like, okay, they got hit there, you know, these assets are here, these assets are there, and stuff like that, right? So then imagine something of that magnitude, that scale, that's gonna be very easy.
Yeah. Which is why you know sometimes, like in movies, when it shows the map of America and it's on fire, that's how it's gonna be. That's gonna be a lake of fire. You know? Like, because you're gonna have fuel, man. You know what I mean? Like the people gonna be the fuel and the brimstone.
So
You know?
and there's a lot just fuel
Fuel
there
in general.
yeah, because they got Shell,
They got Shell.
they've got, I think I
All
feel
the
like
powers.
they're actually one of the biggest.
Yeah.
They use like everybody else.
Yeah. And it's like even like the brimstone. There's been documentaries on. Yeah. There's
JJ's fault line.
Yeah, fault line. There's been videos on the 5 cities that got burnt up. You know, Sodom. You know what I mean? All them cities, and they found bowls of sulfur, right? And when you light the sulfur, which is, you know, part of the brimstone as well. Remember, the scripture says that the rain, fire, and brimstone, you know, from heaven, right? When you light the balls of sulfur, it turns into a liquid blue flame. You know, it turns into like first it crumbles, it goes from a ball to a liquid blue flame. So back then, when it was hitting people, bro, it stick to them. It wasn't just like fire. No, stick to your shit.
That's why the Lord,
You know what I mean? It's gonna be a lake, man.
Scripture says, Scripture says the Lord is a king of terrorism.
Yeah, like
He's thinking about it. Like, damn.
yeah. Like, even if, you know what? We completely asked Chat GPT, man, about balls of sulfur. Why does it melt into a liquid? It's terrible when you see it. It's like shit. Imagine people just like loads of them coming, molten, hitting their shit, hitting their face, sticking to their shit. They're all trying to get bucket. Ah! You know what I mean? Yeah, man.
Oh yeah,
man. Because guess what? Those freaks there, man.
Oh yeah.
You know?
And they're freaks there, man.
They're freaks there.
Well, anything is it's freaks to a degree where it's just like, yo, what a you know,
Yeah, because remember, Lot was there, which the Bible says the seed line of the righteous before they became, you know, the 12 tribes of Israel through process of reincarnation later. So you can imagine just other wicked niggas scattered there too, man.
Yeah.
You know, Jake. Whenever it's wickedness, they want to join the
I
party.
want to do exactly.
You know?
Because I was thinking as well earlier on today, actually, just like, or maybe yesterday, just in terms of that mode demon, right? There's a lot of like strength to that mode demon, man. You notice, as in, like, you notice how a lot of the modes, right, be strong as hell, man. You know, they'll be always in the gym pumping weights. The reason I was thinking about that is like in the story a lot. These man were trying to fight angels, man.
Yeah, look, man.
I was like, yo,
Break for that door. I remember those blind, the wearing.
yeah, blind trying to get in.
And as he said, there was young moles and there was old moles. It was everything. So cool.
But once again, would you see here? I always say, like, when I go for my walks and I make the mistake of walking around like school time and that, because these young people now, which is demons now. But you be just seeing girls constantly holding hands.
Yeah.
They'll be in their uniform holding hands in mass. You know?
Right, bro. Oh yeah,
Jeremiah,
yeah,
you want from verse 20, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. This is Jeremiah 50 and 20. In those days and in that time, saith the Lord, the iniquity of Israel shall be sought for, and there shall be none.
Yeah, because eventually, Jacob, you know, this new covenant, man, we're gonna be made perfect. You know, we're gonna be made, pure. I mean, like a righteous nation of kings and priests, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as Hebrew says, you ain't gonna need to teach the neighbor. We're all gonna know.
You gotta be the teachers of the nation, man.
Esau's not accounting for that. That's why as we read in Revelation, it says what the accuser of our brethren. Esau's trying to make Jake do, this, that, and the other, but he doesn't understand that there's a remnant. There are those who the Lord isn't going to impute iniquity, right? And there's going to come a time where through the elect, right, the Lord is going to basically like let Israel off, basically, right? Because that was always the plan.
Yeah. You know, spirit, we just mentioned it. It's funny because I found a bit of the information talking about on sulfur, right? It says sulfur melts easily and can stay liquid while on fire, given the effect of liquid fire. It says the result is molten sulfur burning with an intense, ghostly blue glow, often moving like lava. You know what I mean? Yeah. So Babylon's gonna be a lake, bro. Like Babylon's gonna be an actual lake, bro. It's gonna be the actual nukes, the Lord bringing the fire, the chariots turning up the temperature a bit, the volcano, the cars, the actual the minerals underneath the fucking people,
All of the Teslas.
They never. Teslas.
You can't put that fire out.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, so bro, it's gonna be a lake, bro. You know how scary a lake. You know what? I'm surprised. You know what? I'm surprised someone's not got a video of like the AI video of a lake of fire. I'm sure there must be, bro. That shit is scary, bro. Because being engulfed in liquid, it means in every crevice of your shit, bro.
Remember the images of the lake of fire. We had people sitting there burning. That's devastating. You don't need hell blood. That's enough.
And even, bro,
that's enough, man.
Remember when we did the video on Pompeii? Bro, the Pompeii destruction, yeah. They said that they found human skulls, yeah, and their brains were crystallized into like a glass gemstone. Bro, the intense heat
must have been a silicone.
It crystallized their brain into a gemstone.
Yes.
It turned them into a fucking ornament. Now, Jake somewhere, like a fake Bruce, probably got like a gemstone of that molten fucking. You know what I mean? But that's crazy, bro. Imagine your brain turn into a fucking gemstone, like a ball of glass, bro. Because glass comes from like heat. Hence, the silicone inside. Yeah, that. Yeah. I made it up.
King of Terrors.
King of Terrors. Yeah.
Job 18 and 14. his confidence shall be looted out of his tabernacle, and it shall bring him to the king of terror.
Yeah, man. Because guess what? Them secret councils, man, stand now without enchantments. You know, that were buried in the multitude of that council, man. Because guess what? He believes with his, he's nearly there. With his AI, he's gonna do this, gonna be able to do that. Drones, where they can think by themselves, carry out whatever. But guess what? The king of terror is gonna come through and stop everything. Like, what was that film, man? Where the dude came and touched every TV screen. Apocalypse, yeah. Touch it. I'm not saying the Lord's gonna do that. But I'm just saying it's like everyone's gonna see the Lord that day, man. I mean, everyone's gonna know he's here.
And they're going to feel it.
Yeah.
The chariots of the Lord are going to be everywhere.
They're gonna be everywhere.
Because we vector everywhere.
Yeah.
So they're going to see it.
And if we've got a fathership that's bigger than the earth, what then it's everywhere.
That's big.
You can't not know where it is.
You go and feel it, man.
You feel it.
You know, that's what I love the bad guys, man, in certain of these films. It's like they'll come in and then they'll just like that whole man. Like,
Bro.
Oh. Yeah.
It's fair.
Yeah.
When the Lord comes, oh shit. The scripture says that.
Where female?
Yeah, where female? The scripture says men's hearts failing them. Bro, when the Lord comes back, they ain't no work Monday. You know what I mean? Oh yeah. All right, it's here, innit? All right, let me tie up these work boots. No, people gonna be dying. People gonna be dropping dead. You know, it's gonna be crazy. Yeah?
Revelation 1:7. Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him.
Yeah. So you know, the spirit of the Lord, you never know, because might have like scoffers that have been blind, judged. The Lord comes, they see, first thing they see is the Lord back. Oh shit. Oh, the devil's gonna still blind. They're gonna pour bleach in that shit. Yeah. You know, it's gonna be crazy, man. Yeah, go ahead.
And it says, and they also which pierced him.
Yeah, and like those that pierced him, you know, those the Spirit of the Lord might have them know it was them. Like it's been off their memory.
You have to.
And then when he comes, they just remember. Because you get flashbacks.
The piece I think of is Isaiah 6:11. Yeah. But how right now you got people that can't understand, right, the breakdowns or anything like that, like what's going on, because the Lord has blinded them. But it says in verse 11, like how long, right? And it basically says to the point where, you know, when everything is basically ready, it's happened. That's when they go and understand. Yeah. You know, it's like so for certain people, why is this happening? Flashbacks.
Yeah.
They scoffing. Yeah.
We fools had it in religion, and but we didn't know the truth. Guess what? The same power that blinds you is gonna give you understanding. He can make you know. Just like that. Yeah. Just like that. Remember Matrix when all the information downloaded, like it's bugging out and shit. Yeah, like you know what I mean. The Lord can make people just realize everything in that moment, man.
Inspiring.
Yeah, even from time to time, there's kids. You know, there's a lot of kids that the Spirit of the Lord like may have them have an idea of how they died in their past life, and they will actually say, "Yeah, I used to be a vet. I used to be something in the army. I was someone. Have been having dreams and shit."
Yeah. Even in this life, though, they call it deja vu.
Yeah.
Right, where you just remember. So, oh shit, I remember. I thought about this.
The Spirit of the Lord can do anything.
Yeah, nah.
Right? And it says, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him, even so among.
So it's not happy. It says all kindreds of the earth.
All nations.
Even Esau. So people saying
the mighty Esau.
Yeah. So people saying vocab. I know you're watching with your double stuffed crust pizza right now. Right? It says all kindreds of the earth. Yeah, double stuffed crust, not just stuffed crust. Double stuffed. You know.
Triple decker.
Yeah. Just bare mozzarella. Like, you know what I mean? Like Talako is saying vocab. Yeah. The scripture says all kindreds of the earth. Right. So that includes that. Isn't Esau part of the table of nations? So
Apparently,
Esau's still here.
the other way, apparently.
So that means the scripture's lying.
Even though it doesn't match up with prophecy,
Yeah,
apparently he's gone.
that's it.
Disappeared.
All kindred.
Been there.
You know, can we go into the word for
Let's go.
kindred in that verse?
I'm gonna make my moves, brother.
Yeah, I'm. Couple minutes. We're gonna close that.
Kindred in this verse.
You might have to close.
No.
Now this is the artist
Word for kindred in the Greek, phile or phule, and it says a tribe. And indeed, all the persons descending from one of the 12 sons of the patriarch Jacob.
And if you skip down, it says
And the other point is a nation, people.
people. Esau's a nation, right?
Mm-hmm.
The nation leading, like, you know. So that's what's coming, man. I've got that one in Jeremiah.
Yeah, back in Jeremiah 50. Yeah. We'll say 50. 20. In those days and in that time, saith the Lord, the iniquity of Israel shall be sought for, and there shall be none, and the sins of Judah, and they shall not be found, but I will pardon them whom I reserve.
Yeah, that's it. Starts off with his elect, right?
That's right. Go up against the land of Merophaim.
Yeah, which that applies to Babylon. I believe it's rebellion. In fact, let's go into it. You know?
Yep. So Marataya one. Yeah. Marataya one. And it says outline of biblical usage, double rebellion, another name for Babylon. And we know, America is Babylon the Great, man. Okay. Double bitterness.
There's no reflection of the Father.
Yeah.
You know, in this world which is spearheaded by who? Babylon. You know? Everywhere you go is confusion. They push out this, gender, fluid and stuff like that. You know, men and men can lie together. All this is rebellious.
That's right. And it says double bitterness, and we know America derives from the word Americo, which means bitter, man. Which is spiritual. So Babylon the Great is America, man. Yep, it's for sure. Go up against the land of Merophaim, even against it, and against the inhabitants of Pekon, waste and utterly destroy after them, saith the Lord, and do according to all that I have commanded thee. Yeah? The sound of battle is in the land and of great destruction. So what's that talking about? Say something?
Oh yeah, that's what we are in. The drum of war is beating louder and louder in this time. Look what happened. In the Middle East right now. You know, Eastern Europe as well. It's all about war. You know, and this is not gonna die down. You know, it's gonna go on until the Lord comes, right? Because what the Bible say, when the Lord comes, it's gonna come in the midst of war, in the midst of their war. You know, and He's gonna unleash more war. You know?
It says, verse, can you read back up?
Yeah.
So it says, verse 21, go up against the land of Marathon, which we went into. It reads double rebellion, the double bitterness. It says, even against it and against the inhabitants of Pekod, waste and utterly destroy after them.
Yeah. Like Babylon, the scripture even refers to it, oh thou most proud. His look was more stout than his fellows, man. That's like, and like they just exceed, like, you know what I mean? If you look at the pioneers of wickedness, of wicked movements, Babylon's at the list, at the top of the list, you know, which is the LGBTQ movements, all them kind of movements, man.
Yeah, good. And it says, saith the Lord, and do according to all that I have commanded thee. A sound of battles in the land and of great destruction. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How is Babylon become a desolation among the nations? Yeah. I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou was not aware. Thou art found and also caught, because thou hast striven against the Lord.
Against the Lord, man. He would ultimately, you know, dealing with wickedness, they'll fight against the Lord, man. Guess what? Wickedness temporary.
Yeah.
The triumphing of the wicked is short. Joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. Right?
It says, the Lord have opened his armory. And I've
Yeah, because them newts really the Lord's newts. Remember, it says, I created the smith. So it's the Lord that's giving them the wisdom, you know, to make these things happen. Oh, strong is his right hand was better than the bow. His arrows is so sharp. Right? If they don't miss when they be shot into the ends of the world, man. That's them ICBMs, man.
That's right. Yeah. And I've brought forth the weapons of his indignation. For this is the work of the Lord, the Most High of hosts, in the land of the Chaldeans. Come against her from the utmost border, open her storehouses, cast her up as heaps, and destroy her utterly. Let nothing of her be left.
Yeah, you know, and that's exactly what it's going to be. You know, there's nothing going to be left, man. So for Babylon, that's that line of confusion, man. You know, no more Drake, Kendrick,
Yeah.
all them fucking useless points people want to be making and dwelling in.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no more Diddy spirits. Yeah, no wickedness anymore. Yeah. That's it. They no longer would America stretch their tentacles onto the earth to ruin people, man. Because America has ruined the minds of people, physically, mentally, all ways, man. That's why it needs to be destroyed. Colonization.
Yeah, these were the colony of America. That's it. All that stuff is going to be gone.
Slay all her bullocks, let them go down to the slaughter. Woe unto them, for their day is come, the time of their visitation. The voice of them that flee and escape out of the land of Babylon, to declare in Zion the vengeance of the Lord our God, the vengeance of his temple. Yeah, vengeance. Why? Because I think about it sometimes like, people ask, why is the Lord going to do these things, etc., etc. Because these heathens, right, have sinned against the Lord, man. Right? They've touched the apple of his eye, right? They've ruined his creation, right? Which certain times when you look at certain parts, even certain parts of America, you see videos of it. It's like, yeah, that's a beautiful land, right? Yeah, it's guess what? In the water, microplastics, right? Different types of contamination, right? Everywhere you look, Esau has ruined this place, man, right? Which even to be fair, he's using it for the agenda of a global warming, whatever, what have you, right? But he's reporting it on himself. So, yeah, man, look at the oceans, they're ruined, the species, and it's like, okay, all right, Revelation 11:18, then, isn't it? Right? Just to destroy them that destroy the earth. Right? Yeah, you may try to blame, another country or and China's polluting, but polluting for who? Right? To make goods for you. So the voice of them that flee and escape out of the land of Babylon, to declare in Zion the vengeance of the Lord our God, the vengeance of his temple. Pull together the archers against Babylon.
Yeah, man. Remember, all the bend the bow. Spare no spare. There's a scripture says, don't spare any arrows, man.
The main Russia is going to be Russia.
Yeah.
Hi, in America.
Yeah. You go fight, yeah. Arlington to them.
Yep. You're in 50, yeah. Yeah, 50 and 29.
Yeah, if you skip up,
Yeah.
to 9.
To 9, yeah. Go back to 9.
Right, so I never got one when I kicked
I'm left foot. Three of us are left foot then, yeah. For that Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Jeremiah 50. Jeremiah 50. Again, they want you again, brother.
Jeremiah 50 and 9. But lo, I'll rise and cause to come up against Babylon on an assembly of great nations from the north country.
Yeah. This north is Russia. So, if you look at the land of the Medes, the main zone, it's encased where the land of Russia is today. So if you look at it, the picture it shows you the Medes were here, and it's encased in the map of Russia. That's in this context. That's the land of the north. Sometimes we might mention that the land of the north as Babylon. This context is
They shall set themselves in array against her.
yeah, and it's clear to see, right? Like Babylon. Don't get it twisted. Babylon have a great army. You know, 1 to 1, they really close.
Yeah.
If not all.
So the Persian.
So did Persia. So did Persia until the Greeks came.
The Lord was with Alexander to take him down.
Yeah. But guess what? Now you're gonna get rushed by Russia. All the nations that are gonna be with Russia. You know what I'm saying? Like it's different being jumped. You only see them. You only see them videos of you know, like in America they got them gangs where they got get jumped in. They can fight back. They can fight back. See, that's what's gonna happen to Babylon, man.
Yeah, that's it.
They're gonna get jumped.
Saying, "Oh, you that bend the bow, man."
All you that bend the bow. They're gonna be just lighting her up, man. You know, because you know what I mean. You have the might to either take out a couple cities here, but your whole country's gonna be gone at the end of it.
That's it.
You know what I mean? Right?
From thence she shall be taken. The arrows
Yeah.
shall
See how like it calls Babylon a she. It's the same thing it says in Revelation, the 17 that the woman that saw us, that great city was ruling for over the kings of the earth. You know, it's the same playbook. You know, the scripture speaks about the smoke of her burning. Isaiah 13 speaks about, you know, for her judgment. You know what I mean? It's that woman that rides on the beast, man. You know, which is the driving force behind NATO and the EU. If it follows this lead, it's gonna catch fire, man.
it says, their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain. Let me read it again. Their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain.
Yeah, none's gonna return in vain because it's gonna be used. In the road 2 speaks about none's gonna thrust each other. You know, none shall break their rank.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Bro, all the needs gonna be charged up, bro, with the spirit of the Lord. You know what I mean? And it's like, you know, it's for real. You know, people like that board that's coming. Like, obviously, they're kicking it, but it's like, have you ever been like, let's say you're playing football, whatever, and it's like a person gets hit. And it's like it's guided specifically for that person.
Yeah.
Like, even though you kicked it, the spirit of the Lord can make it specifically hit that person. You know what I mean? It's just it's sort of like when people throw like a penny off of the tall building, and it hits the baby, kills the baby. But the Lord can make it die.
But I forget the term. Not driver, but the one where it's like the bullet like hits someone else.
Ricochets,
Hits someone else, takes them out.
Yeah, that's the Lord. Yeah. That's the Lord. So
I was going to say the issues of life and death belong to the Lord.
To the Lord belongeth the issues of death.
Yeah.
So if the Lord can do that with a bullet ricochet off like a nigga's grills and it hits a fucking Edomite baby's head. You know what I'm saying? But you know, the Lord can make it a ricochet off a tree and hit. You know what I mean? So how much more missile? Final destination.
Yeah, I was gonna say real quick. Esau thinks he's king of guided missiles. Nah, the Lord is the king of guided missiles.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly, right? You know, you can see. Okay. And it says,
And Chaldea shall be a spoil.
yeah, man, they're like, so even though Babylon and even its wise men, you know, so that's gonna the Chaldeans was known for their wisdom, man. You know, and it's like even touched into their secret counsel, their wisdom that they trusted in. All of that's gonna be nothing, bro. It's all good. It's not gonna work, bro. No? Okay?
Yep.
all that spoil her shall be satisfied, saith the Lord.
Yeah.
Because you were glad, because you rejoice, O ye destroyers of mine heritage.
Yeah. Babylon, you know, the main hub of our persecution. We've been persecuted amongst all nations. Babylon is the height. You know, that's where Judah, I mean Ephraim were both oppressed.
Yeah, that's it. That was a beautiful video that was got posted before, where you had the Latin tribes basically being like, there's the two Cuban kids, and one of them was like, look, man, if you want to kiss some ass, it should be some black ass, right? Because to be fair, we didn't really stand with them, but like right now they stand with us, right? And that's that, scripture in Isaiah 11, right? Says, no longer shall do the vex Ephraim and vice versa. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's it. That's it, man. You know, and it's happening on all levels, even low levels. Like even like this thing. Can you say the word nigga? Which who cares? So what? Fuck it. Point is, there was a bit of few Mexicans and Latins like, should we be allowed to say that word or whatever it is? And you know what their reason is? Keep the white. They're like, look, man, we go through the same shit. That's what they keep saying. Like, we're sharing the struggle and we grew up with the same hoods, so why not? Basically saying, but look, man, I'm a Jake too. You know what I mean? Whether they know it or not. Right?
O ye destroyers of mine heritage, because you are grown fat as the heifer at grass.
Yeah.
And
Babylon's grown fat, man. Them dainty. You know, them triple jam donuts, them double stuffed crust roll cab. You know what I mean? Like, you're chilling.
Krispy Kreme.
Yeah. Deep fried Krispy Kreme waffles. I don't know what that is.
Remember that guy used to show me on YouTube, that Jake.
Yeah.
Oh, everything.
Yeah.
All
The
drinks,
92
burgers.
2 fucking ounces.
Eyes just pop out.
Yeah. Pink lemonade.
You
You know? Good. But Babylon's a fat nigga, man.
Yeah.
It's been chilling. Now it's just time for it to just be judged, man. Right?
And bellow as bulls. Your mother shall be sore confounded.
Yeah. So even Great Britain, man. You know? And guess what? Even though, here really back to the state of Israel, but when they, the state of Israel conflicts, be happening, and Babylon backs them, here tries to play
I'm coming to. Oh yeah,
yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm not really down.
Yeah, but really, that's what they are down.
Yeah, it's all an act.
It's all an act.
The other is just making mockery of something.
But
England right now is so.
England also does the same.
Yeah.
Of like trying to pretend like they're not joining, but I'm coming, bro.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I'm getting my keys.
I caught you, bro.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Does nothing. Right?
See that bear you shall be ashamed.
Yeah, because eventually it's going to be like, yo, man, this is a mutually assured problem. Babylon. Those in league with you, because remember, the scripture says in Revelation, they all are going to agree until it's time to burn them with fire, man. So it's coming, right?
The hindermost of the nations shall be a wilderness,
Which is Babylon, furthest. Right, bro?
a dry land, and a desert.
A desert, man. That's what's coming, man.
Yeah.
That's what's coming.
And we look forward to that, man.
Yeah.
No, it's our ball. Like we're kind of annoyed. Shit's died down a little bit, man. It's kind of like, yo, man, do your thing. Obviously, we understand prophecy, right? We understand that, but it's just like, what I'm trying to make is we're happy when these things happen, man. Yeah. Which makes me also kind of understand what Scripture says in Isaiah 65 about how we're gonna rejoice, man. We're gonna be happy. We're gonna be smiling. Yeah. Like when the Lord is just let but I won't say that. Rewind.
Yeah, man. But ultimately, prophecy's taking place, man. And Esau's going down.
That's
You
it.
know what I mean? And it's always a matter of time. It's only a matter of time, man. Right?
Because of the wrath of the Lord, it shall not be inhabited. But it shall
And it's like, I was going to say this. Again, why is most films of a nation being destroyed completely? Babylon? It's like, they load through that and it's making them prophesy upon themselves.
Yeah.
But that's what's going to happen. Because they know that's prophecy. the prophet always talks about a land being burnt that no one can go, and there's always a land that's being burnt that no one goes to. In film, who is it? It's America. It's Babylon. But now, man, let's get any last few precepts if anyone has close out.
In Revelation 15 and 2. And I saw as it were a sea of grass mingled with fire, and them that had gotten the victory over the beast and over his image and over his mark.
So us in them chariots above the firmament, observe, seeing, the judgment, man. Right? We hope for that. Go and get that victory, man. Over the mark, over the beast, over the system, over everything. This flesh. Good.
Over his mark and over the number of his name.
Yes.
Of his name.
Here it gives the specifics, the marks, the number of his name. It all, right?
Stand on the sea of grass, having the harps of Mostai.
Oh, shit.
Having the harps of Mostai, and they sing the song of Moses, the servant of Mostai, and the song of the Lamb, saying, Great and marvelous are thy works, Lord, power and might, just and true are thy ways, thou King of saints.
The saints, and who's the saints? The saints are Israelites, man. So that even proves that. Our judgment's coming, man. And we hope to be, those who are picked out to be in them ships, man. You know what I'm saying?
That's it. Yeah. This is Luke 21 and 25 and 26. And there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring, men's hearts failing them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth. The powers of heaven shall be shaken.
Yeah. Says the men's hearts are going to fail them, man. That's what the Lord might have you catch a heart attack, but still make it to get judged.
Yeah. Get that stroked out.
Stroked out.
Like, what was that geezer? Just like my man.
Keep hoping.
Let's out. So then shall they see.
I can picture people trying to blow their brains out, but the Lord letting it not work.
Yeah.
Or like they do it, but they're still alive.
Yeah.
But now they're paralyzed. Wait.
Yeah.
See the Lord do it.
Wow. And then shall they see the Son of Man coming in the cloud with power and great glory.
Great glory.
Okay, now place to end. And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh.
Yeah, so as we've seen prophecy speeding up, things are happening before our eyes. Really, this is the time to lift up our heads and not look down. So it don't matter whatever issues or problems we're dealing with, always pray to the Lord, pray to maintain faith and persevere, man. And if we're elect, man, the Lord's gonna come through for us anyway. All right, so hey, with that, gonna close out. We're gonna say, praise be to Yahweh. Double honor to the prophet and the great millstone. Shalom to the elect.
Shalom.